so cute.
Hey everybody, it's 6 o'clock. It's Tuesday night. It's time for Dragons and Things.
Whoa!
And then nobody moves. The worst start. The worst start.
Laughing.
That's it. Stream's canceled.
Hi, friends.
Hey everybody.
Hello.
Before we get started, I'll say a couple of things, but I don't want to dwell on it too much. First of all, I hope all of you are doing okay. I know that things are weird. Life is getting just out of hand. And I know it's super stressful, and it's impacting all of us together, and that really, it stinks, it does. But we really wanted to be live online because we wanted to spend this time with you, and we want to spend this time with each other. And so we're going to keep going. We're going to keep doing the show for as long as we can keep doing the show. And if circumstances change, of course, we'll make announcements, and we'll find some way to still connect with you guys. But, you know, we do this because... honestly, it's nice to step away from the world and just play some Pathfinder and hang out with you guys. It's actually, you know, we're happy to be here. To that end, of course, Jamie is playing remote today. She is a type 1 diabetic, and out of an abundance of caution, she's decided to stay remote. So she's going to hang out with us on the TV, but she's still live with us playing, and it'll be a good time. So... let's just have an episode of Dragons and Things. I mean, that's kind of what we're here to do. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
So let's just have one of those.
Of course, we want to give a shout out to Norse Foundry, because they're still providing dice cams, even in these trying times. We've still got dice cams thanks to them.
Woo!
And
woo.
Sirenscape will still be providing music and sound effects. So the big shout out to both of them. That is Sirenscape.com and NorseFoundry.com to check out all of their goodies. And you heard last week that there are Elderwood boxes on sale. We have them. Everybody's pointing at them.
They're right there.
They're right here. Megan's got one too. Oh wait, we're going to you, Megan. There we go. The Elderwood hex chests are awesome. You should go and get them. I know that some of you have already, you purchased them the moment we announced them, so that was pretty cool.
They're so cool.
That is Elderwood Academy. They are really beautiful hex chests, and they have the tiny ones for tiny dice and the regular size ones for regular size dice. They're cool. They're super cool. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why I'm feeling so off, but I will say that I think the only thing left to do is to play some Pathfinder.
Woo!
Yes, please.
Yes, let's do it.
All right. I'm very excited. And Jim, I've been reading a lot on World Anvil, so I feel like I'm
you
really
have it?
prepared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're super
informed?
prepared?
Yeah, I opened it up. It's called Valdruin. That's the world.
You're there.
Valdruin.
That is way more prepared than you've ever been for any other game that I've run. So, good job. Good on you.
Yeah. I thought I did a good job.
Oh gosh. A constant, steady wind blows through the streets of Vantam, carrying eddies of multicolored ash across the city in a wondrous glowing display. In the midst of the chaos that surrounds Vantam since the Seven Towers explosion, even the most savvy Vantamites have failed to notice that the wind is blowing from west to east. Typically, the breeze comes in from the ocean, not off the eastern hills where the city elite huddle in their mansions and wait for news about what they should do, and whom they should blame for the most recent troubles. Indeed, this constant stiff wind seems almost to be a shield against the magically charged smoke and ash that rises from the shattered husk of the Tower of Necromancy. A shield for the people of Hollowsong Hills, maintained by expert aerial manipulators making scales hand over fist from the rich who are not assuaged by the city council's insistence that the ash is no danger. That harmless, swirling ash blows down across fog downs below, onto the urchins with no homes to remain safely within, with no mothers to look worriedly at the sky and tell them to come in despite their ragged groans of protest. No, the urchins play in this eldritch winter. A dusting of ash coats a little boy spinning with his arms wide in the streets. He stops for a moment and collects a handful of ash in his hands, packing it like a snowball and throwing it at a girl nearby, who squeals in delight as it bursts in a rainbow cloud against her shoulder. A whole group of children, dressed in little more than rags, frolics nearby, tossing ash into the air and letting it settle over their dirty cheeks. Several blocks from where the children play, 5 adventurers find a moment of respite after their most recent exploits. You all have a guest, Dr. Dornell Gage, whom you recently extracted from the crumbling halls of post-mortal services. You were paid for your job, 50 gold scales, so that's 10 each for your efforts. While certainly a great payday for a fledgling sanctuary, you've been thrust into the middle of quite the event, and a lot has happened in a very short time. This is the first moment you've really had to yourselves. So what do you do?
We read comments!
Hooray! Comments!
Jamie, would you like to go first?
Sure. That's very saying. So now I'm not saying that Jim has no confidence in his Tuesday players, but when the title of tonight's show is Dead as a Doornail, it has to make you wonder.
Why is that the title, Jim?
It's actually not. I don't know why he said that. I think he's just making things up.
Oh,
That's not
okay.
the episode title, no.
Norse Foundry says, "Here we go."
And here we do.
Go!
I want to give a quick shout out to Cooper and Pixard for joining the stream today. They've been watching my streams, and I'm happy to see them over here. So thanks,
Ooh,
guys.
hey.
I like Lamar, the con guy here, that says, "Are you mofos 6 feet apart?"
Some of us are.
Some of us are 6 feet apart.
This table is,
Definitely.
Adam has conveniently positioned himself away from all people and packed everybody else into the other side of the room.
Jamie's clearly positioned herself away from all people.
Yeah, but we knew she was doing that.
The real poet is saying that DaT is one of the few handholds of normalcy left. Thank you. Of course, we gotta play.
That is a problem when we're the ones
We're the
representing
most
normalcy.
Yeah. And the real POTUS is saying donations for Rady to offset bacon's sadness. Yeah. We did a cooking stream this week over on the DaT Network. If you missed it, I think you can catch the VOD still. And Adam Kahn ate Adam Rady's bacon.
I saw
Which
that.
everybody knows is a faux pas.
That is...
That is the faux pas.
But we actually have a lot of donations that have come in already. We have a mercy for me from Dark Knight. Yeah, thanks! The real POTUS has gifted Adam Rady 2 edges.
Yeah.
Edges.
Nice.
And I'm in for
Edge-eye.
life gave an edge to everyone at the table.
Nice.
That
Except for
include-
Jim.
Oh, always excluding me.
And Dark Knight gave you a mercy. I
Always.
don't know if that got caught
I
in
said
there.
that first, yeah.
Okay, great.
Mama Jim Jam says, "Hi Jim, I love that I get to see you twice a week now."
McCranky Stank giving 2 comments here. Jim's work on World Anvil is outstanding. And of course, shaming us for our social distancing, saying we should have an even amount on either side of the table.
Everybody should be equally exposed.
One.
We all go together.
And I believe we have a follow from Anthony DePerry88 and cheers from King Darkane. So thank you for the cheers. Thank you for the follows. Welcome. If this is your first time, get ready.
It's
Get ready.
about to go down.
It is about to go down. You know, I think we'll start with Grace, because I feel like she has a lot to gain from what she's found most recently. You know, ever since your return to the Sanctuary, you've spent your time locked in your room, poring over the files recovered from the sub-level of post-mortal services labs. It's been a frustratingly difficult process to glean anything useful from the pages, as every one of them is very heavily redacted. But the further you dive, the more certain you are that you've stumbled into something important. What you can put together is that the swirling sprite was recovered. All reports indicate the ship was lost at sea, not a single scrap ever found, no survivors, no dead to bury. And that was true for a time, but you realize that the city sent a special task force onto the waters to hunt the ship down. It took them several years, but they eventually discovered the ship. It had been dashed onto the rocks of a remote island, supposedly on its way back to the port of Vantam carrying a cargo of some kind, though its nature has been redacted. What interests you the most is the mention of the survivors and the dead. All names and identifying information have been redacted, but they were brought back to Vantam. Someone in this city knows about your brother, but they have known for some time. If you want to spend any more time trying to glean anything, you can make I would say a lore sailing check. You can make a check and see if there's any additional information you can pull from the documents.
I find that when I read things, I often, weigh upon my knowledge of sailing to help me read.
Well, I see it being called out, but by looking at documents related to the movement of ships, she might be able to determine certain sets
You know what,
of
you do your
information
thing.
that normal
You do your
people would not.
I like it. I'll do it.
Creature.
Not
Alright.
all of us can just glean lore.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, this guy over here.
Glean lore.
So that is where's my sailing? Oh, that's an 18 total.
Ooh.
An 18 total. You are looking over a lot of the documents that probably would be passed over. Just trying to see what you can about some of the movements on the waters and seeing if you can determine anything about who may have spotted, who was sent out to find this ship, when was it recovered, where about in the waters may it have been found, and you notice as looking at some of the dates and some of the movements that you're aware of as somebody who's spent a lot of time on the docks, that a name catches your eye, something they forgot to redact. It is Tourmaline Egg. You happen to know that Tourmaline Egg is the name of a ship. It is not just a code phrase or random collection of words. It is, in fact, the name of a ship captained by a woman named Kendra Spades. You know the ship is not in port today, but you do know that it is due for a return in 2 days' time.
Okay.
That is several hours of work, and about that time, the rest of the house begins to sort of come to life. Sly, I know that you had mentioned sort of offline that you wanted to go and see an old friend of yours.
I do. I'm gonna get up. As we got back last night, Sly kind of locked himself away, cleaning things up. You know, he had a lot of pus all over him and his own blood. So he took care of cleaning his armor and his boots, especially. And so now he's up and he wants answers. So he's gonna throw that cloak around him again, kind of pull it up so that once he kind of hits the streets, he can hopefully just kind of blend in.
Sure.
But he's gonna make his way over to good old Pockets.
Well, if you're looking for Pockets, that means that you've got to go to Scatterjacks, which is a gaming hall in Fog Downs, where you know that even at the worst of times, you can find your old friend Pockets whiling away the hours.
Yep.
If there is anyone who might be able to shed some light on your current predicament, it's old Pockets. On the way to Scatterjacks, you pass by Tascallum's brewery. You see a collection of people outside the tavern, candles in hand, all staring at the building's facade. When you get a little closer, you see that the wall is covered in names. Tears make tracks down red cheeks, and quiet sobbing fills the air. You've been very busy since the explosion, but now seeing this crowd, it sort of hits the tragedy of the situation sort of hits home. This has been a lot of lives were lost, and a lot of damage has been done to the city. It's had a very human toll. Moving beyond that, you make it to Scatterjacks about 20 minutes later or so. And you find that the gambling hall has a strangely somber place today. Dealers stand at empty tables, and servers lounge against the bar, and only a few people wander around sort of aimlessly. It doesn't seem like anyone is playing or drinking, or even seems to know why they're there. Pockets is in his usual spot at a private blackjack table. He takes a card, and his face goes sour at the results. He's busted, but no chips slide across the table. He's not really a customer at this place, at least not in that sense. He only plays to amuse himself. The dealer, a heavily muscled elf woman, nods towards you to warn Pockets of your arrival, and his sour face lights up when he sees you. Sly! I heard you got killed in the blast. I bet 10 scales it wasn't true, though.
Ah, well, I guess you get to collect on that, don't you?
It wouldn't surprise you at all if Pockets himself had spread the rumor of your death simply to bet against it.
Yep.
So what do you do?
I'll sit down at the table with him. I'll just say, I'm very glad to see that you yourself survived, though I don't know why I would have thought you would have been outside of this place.
As far as I know, I'm immortal. All evidence suggests I will never die.
True that.
Haven't died yet, don't plan to.
Yes, true indeed. I must say, have you ventured by Tascallum's?
Oh, I have. I heard. It's hard, He was not really a friend. He wasn't really anybody's friend, but he was kind of a a fixture, like your favorite chair. You only really notice when it's gone.
I think a lot of people are having that experience, whether it's with Tass or else. Someone else. Pockets, it seems quite odd. Tass does not seem to have been a part of the explosion. His death seems to have been before it.
No.
I saw him but a week ago.
No.
When was the last time you saw him?
Maybe 5 days ago. It was before the explosion. Yeah, I was in the brewery. I wasn't even really there to see him. I was taking a trip upstairs. There were some people I needed to talk to. But he was there. It was during the day, so it was really not very busy. And seemed fine. Really shocked to hear of his passing.
Would I be able to tell if he seems a little off by sharing this?
Sure. That will be a perception check. You think that there's probably a lot he's not telling you, but he doesn't seem to be holding anything back. He's always not telling somebody something. You don't get a bad vibe from it. Okay. You would just guess that, whatever reason he was there for probably had nothing to do with what he's telling you.
Right.
But you don't. He doesn't have any guilt. There's no
Would I know because I have some underworld lore.
Yeah.
Would I be able, or would I have knowledge of what happens upstairs?
Make an underworld lore check.
All right, let's get that dice cam going. We got a +3 to this, so probably not. It's a total of 7.
Total of 7. Sure. You don't know nothing. Tass, well known to be a bit of a experimental pharmacist, some might say, and a lot of his wares were for imbibing in his private rooms upstairs. People would pay to go up there, and it's a pretty well known secret that you get messed up there, and also there are if you're looking for company, you can usually find it if you've got a couple of talons in your pocket.
Gotcha.
Can we get to Jamie's face?
I think I would just say to Pockets then, look, I don't necessarily count Tass as a friend, but something just feels off about what happened to him. You're a man of rumors. Have you heard any?
Well, you know that I am a man of rumors, and you know that that's the business I'm in, Sly.
Yes. I'll pull out 2 silver.
Sure.
And I just say, the next game's on me, as it were.
This'll do. Though I've heard a few rumors that might suggest you might have something to trade in kind.
Oh?
What have you been up to these past few days, Sly? Keeping yourself busy, I hear. I would love to know what's going on for Vantam's newest heroes.
Yes, well. We made a small delivery. Nothing odd about it, just moving it from here to there.
Where was there? And where was here? That's the stuff that's worth something.
Ah, is it now? Well then, let's say that we went from Fog Downs to it was the and this is Nathan now double checking everything. That was
Yeah.
7 Towers that we went to, right? That
You
district?
were in Seven Towers District, yeah. You transported it from Tascalum's Brewery to a place called Jade Cat in Seven Towers.
Yes. And for my map knowledge, what is the area right next to Seven Towers?
Ooh, map knowledge.
Well, Seven Towers is in the center of the city, so everywhere is next to.
I want to make it, almost like we would have taken the path. I'm just trying to figure it out because I'm like, I don't trust pockets with everything. But here's our lovely map. Here's what we need.
Yeah.
We're
Seven
very
Towers
good
is
at
the
timing.
district you were in.
So that's
where the Jade Cat
the district where the Jade Cat was.
Yep.
All right, and and the district to the northeast.
Northeast is Fog Downs.
Is Fog Downs.
Yep.
So, it would be safe to say that if people saw us going through Seven Towers, then if we had gone to the northwest, that would have been which district? That was the
That's
nice
Hollow Hill.
That's a
Hollow
nice.
Song
That's a
Hill.
nice place.
That's where the nice people. Yeah, that's where the rich people.
The nice
yeah.
people live.
Okay. All right.
They're all nice there.
Nice.
They're not nice. Most of them are nice, actually.
That's where they have the nice things.
That's where the nice things are. Yeah.
Whether
Not
the
the nice
people are nice.
Fancy people.
I will just tell him, if we started at Tascalum, even, in Fog Downs, but got waylaid by the docks.
See, that's what I'm most interested in. Who would attack the great Sly Gilder?
Well, I wish I knew. Unfortunately, I didn't stick around to count the bodies or name them. But as you can see, there is just me, and not they.
You didn't see anything out of the ordinary about the people attacking you?
Well, I don't know if it was with them or not, but there was some horrible gator chicken that attacked me. It hurt.
That's worth something, Sly. That's worth something.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it also worth it to know that the gator chicken is no longer alive?
I mean, after all, it did attack the great Sly Gilder. I imagine that it wasn't gonna...
Like I said, many bodies, no names.
So you want to know what happened to Taz, huh?
That is why I am here.
Well, I know that he passed, and I knew it before a lot of people did. I know that the story on the streets is that he fell into the ocean. Which, of course, everybody with half a brain knows is absolutely not true. That's just what you say when you don't know what happened. We know there's no body. Can't imagine where that ended up.
You don't happen to know anyone who would have wanted this to befall good old Taz?
No, but I am wondering. I'm wondering, Sly, if maybe somehow after that delivery you made, somebody didn't quite like what was going on, and well, after all, that's where you picked up your supply, and...
Yes, well, you say much without saying much at all, don't you? I think you may have given me more of an idea than I thought. And I appreciate it. As always, if you have any need.
I think there's one person who knows what really happened to old Mr. Callum.
Oh.
I think you're gonna have a heck of a time finding her.
Her?
Yeah.
Who might that be?
Well, of course, his assistant was always nearby.
That is true. I thought I had heard that something had befallen her as well.
Well, sometimes rumors of people's deaths are just exaggerations. After all, I made 10 betting you were alive. Lots of people thought you were dead.
Always foolish of them to think so. Many ideas, and I thank you for them. Whatever your next round is, I'll make sure the bartender has it ready.
Thanks, Sly. Look, if you do find her, take care of her. I don't think that she was supposed to survive.
Just so we're both on the same page, as in my line of work, take care of her can mean two different things.
Sly, I'm not that guy. We're
I figured as
all
much.
dealing with a lot here, and you know I'm not an angel, of course, no, but
But who is?
we don't need more bad news.
I thank you, friend. And again, these are trying times. If you have needs, please make them known.
Don't worry, if I need a hero, I know who to call, Mr. Gilder.
Wonderful. I'll walk over to the barkeep.
Sure.
Lay another, I'm guessing, silver down. Will cover more than cover it.
Sure.
And just say, for him next round.
Cool. Well, that's going on. Zaka's been up. She's been on the move. A little offline, you let me know that you wanted to travel to your old stomping grounds. So
Yes.
you, bright and early, make your way east to the east end of the city, avoiding Seven Towers entirely and skirting around to the gate between Hollowsong Hills and Fog Downs. When you get into Hollowsong Hills, there is a jarring change in the atmosphere. First, you see only a smattering of rainbow ash that virtually coats everything on the lower city. You see street cleaners working their way across the district in heavy jumpsuits, sweeping up any errant ash into carts they're wheeling through the streets. There are very few residents about, likely nestled in their homes, but their servants are everywhere, doing their best to sweep away all evidence of the recent disaster. You make your way through the famous Silver Rose Market. Paid runners are the only shoppers, carrying goods from market stalls up to the hillside homes for a few talons. A small team of gardeners is tending to the market's silver rose bushes, despite there being virtually no one around to admire them. A runner passes you quickly and stumbles, dropping his cargo all over the street. He's hacking and coughing horribly, and drops to his knees with a groan. When he looks up briefly, you can see that he's deathly pale, but he begins gathering up the scattered boxes, shaking his head and muttering, no, to himself. You move on, beyond the market, and Rivenwing Arena stands proudly over the district. Despite everything, you feel a swell of pride looking up at what was really your second home for so many years. There are no events being held today, so the arena is empty aside from a few security guards who recognize you and let you in with a nod. You find Salus in his office, a half-empty bottle of bourbon on the desk. He looks up at you with bleary eyes. Zaka! Look at the big hero come down from her tower to grace us lowly peasants with their presents. Peasants and presents. Presents! Did you bring a present? A dragon head from your big hero job, maybe?
Zakag goes to one knee and says, Master Salus. She rises and walks toward him, and she pulls out kind of like a large envelope, sort of deal, and she goes, of course, I always come bearing gifts.
Grass snatches the looks inside. It's got it. Ah, well, I guess business is what, slow? You made more doing fights here. You quit so you can what, get petty change? Come on, it's like,
Times are very difficult right now.
Well, yeah, when times is difficult.
This is all I've been able to manage. I will work harder.
You're gonna have to. I don't think your tribe's gonna be very impressed. Honestly, I send them back this, they're like, oh, thought she was a big hero.
Yes, I will do more.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to. Your people, I'll try to tell them that you're working hard, but they're not gonna be very happy.
Understood. Next time there will be more.
I hope so. You know, for their sake. For it's your people. It's your family. You know, they count on you, Zaka. Everybody's counting on you. You know that.
Yes.
You know that, Zaka.
Jim's face right now. I couldn't. All right. Thank you for your time, Master Salas.
Yeah, come back anytime that you have an envelope.
How
Don't
are
worry, I got a lot of busy. I gotta send this, to your people. So
Thank you.
yeah, I gotta do that. That's my job.
How are
I'm
things
doing
here?
my job. I mean, the city exploded, so whatever.
Well, I will make you proud. I will restore your faith in me, and I will train harder, and I will fight harder and accept more work, and I will bring back double next time. Give me a few days.
Yeah, I mean, it's not up to me. It's your tribe. I'm just trying to help you. I'm doing what's best for you, for them. And you're doing it your friends. So yeah, you gotta work.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll see you in a few days. Get up and I walk out.
Okay. You leave him to his bottle. Which takes us to Odalie. Odalie. You wake up
Yes.
and you see that Draven is already busy scuttling about the room. He appears to be dragging an envelope toward you from the windowsill, likely dropped off by a raven or an owl. It's not terribly easy to do this without hands, but he's doing his best. He's just sort of scooting this envelope across the room towards you. You actually have the letter. I sent it to you. For those of you who are looking for any documents that we happen to give out, of course, they're available on our Patreon right now, so you can go and download them. But you find that the letter is from Seven Towers University, and it appears rather self-evident given the circumstances, but classes have officially been suspended, and all university sites are off-limits to everyone. Not a surprise, but still, the letter serves as a sobering reminder of the impact the recent explosion is going to have over time as well as in the moment. So what do you do? How do you spend your time? You're frozen.
shocked.
Oh, no.
She's frozen in indecision.
No. Can you guys? Okay. So that doesn't sound good. So Oakley freaks out for a few minutes, but she knows that she has to keep studying. She has to keep doing something. So she decides to take a letter over to the post office, basically, to send it off to Grandma. And then she had tried to reach out to Desert Lost Pen.
Yeah. That was the guy that you all saved from his own exploding machine not too long ago. Which makes a lot of sense because you know that he was doing a lot of academic research involving the events surrounding the explosion. So perhaps he has something he can offer. You had reached out to him, and so you send off your letter to your parents. You send that off.
Yes.
Go back to the sanctuary, and as you get back, you see that there's a man waiting outside the front door for the sanctuary, and sort of as expected, as you approach, you see that it is indeed Mesric Lospin who got your invitation to help, and is already eager, bright and early, eager to help. This lanky, robed figure of a man in spectacles, whom you recently saved from his own exploding machine, smiles and begins to gather up the various devices and components he's brought along for your little academic pursuit. He says, oh, Odalie, thanks for inviting me. I've been working night and day to refigure my calculations, so don't worry about anything blowing up, because I've got it all figured out. And this time, I am 95% certain that there's not going to be a problem.
Just quick question. If it's 95% this time, what was the percentage last time?
I mean, 94. We're improving.
Great.
We're improving the odds.
Yes, we are 1% at a time. So tell me, what have you figured out since the explosion?
Nothing. But I do have a few more instruments that are going to help us measure the samples that you say you've collected.
Okay, great. Let's do this.
Okay. So you and Mesric set up a makeshift lab in your room and set yourselves to studying these samples of mithricite ash that you have collected from your travels, especially closer to the site of the explosion. So in order to see what you can glean from all of this, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Arcana. All right. I gotta get my Norse Foundry dice cam real quick. Well, it's a 3 on the dice, so plus 7 is a 10.
10. You both spend a couple of hours going over everything, and you don't know whether it's because the instruments that he has created are simply not calibrated correctly, or whether they don't measure what they're supposed to measure, or whether you just aren't looking for the right whether you're just not looking in the right place, or whether the samples are contaminated. Anything could be going wrong, but there's really not a whole lot of information that you're getting that makes a whole lot of sense. Well, you do notice one thing, is that the ambient fields of magic given off by the ash are incredibly unstable. They don't match any of the schools of magic that you have learned to identify, and they vary in strength over time by very wild margins. It is incredibly difficult to get a handle on exactly what you're looking at because it's constantly changing. It's constantly shifting, and sometimes it is almost as if there's nothing there at all, but then it'll come back stronger than ever before moments later. So it is just there's no way for you to really pinpoint what you're looking at, and it becomes very frustrating and difficult after several hours of research. And at that point, Mesric looks to you and he's like, well, you know, these things take time. Maybe I can adjust a few things at home and come back tomorrow and we can try it again. But I think we're making progress. I think it's just, we're going to have to keep at it. Great discoveries aren't made in a day. And nothing blew up. So, hey, that's really kind of a win. That's a success in my book.
That is a huge success. We do need to keep at this, Mesric.
All right. Well, come off. And he leaves. He gathers up his supplies and he leaves. So we turn to Quindon. Quindon, what have you been doing all morning?
The camera comes into Quindon's room, and the shades are drawn, and Quindon is, at this point, he's probably clothed. But throughout the night, he was sweating so profusely. He had just sweat dripping off of him. And it's tough to say whether he slept or not. He's very frazzled, and there are moments when he can be caught just staring at his own reflection and sort of poking himself, and sometimes it's almost as if his fingers go through his own arm, come back. There's this odd energy that will flicker in and out, and it almost seems as if there's random objects that he's holding at any given time, but maybe they're there, maybe they're not there. And the only thing that really starts to break him free of this is this hunger that he has. He's just so unfathomably hungry. And it's as if he hasn't eaten in a week. And that just eats at him to a point where it erodes sort of wildness where he hasn't done anything. Maybe he slept, maybe he hasn't, staring off. So finally he does clothe himself. His clothes are probably still a little damp from all the sweat, and he would be heading downstairs to go eat, and he would make himself quite a meal. So if anybody else is in the common area, they would probably encounter Quindon at a certain point later in the morning. He's got bacon, Adam Khan, lots of bacon. He's got muffins, blueberry specifically. He's got coffee, lot of coffee. He's got toast. He's got jams. He's got hams. He rhymes too. No, he's literally just devouring anything that's there. He's probably, not to use this current like real world crisis, but like where we're stockpiling food. If anybody was worried about our stockpile of food, they'd be very worried now as Quindon has like gone into the cupboards and is just eating the portions that were clearly. It would not make sense that he's able to consume this much food, but he is.
I mean, Grace would definitely come down, especially if she smells all this food. She'd just eat it with you.
Yeah, well, I imagine at this point, some of you have spent sort of hours either doing your research or out in the city, and sort of later in the morning, you're all coming back into the sanctuary, and you find that Belson shows up while you're still eating, and everybody's sort of filtering back in. He greets you all, but sort of makes his way to go find Dr. Gage, who is currently staying at the sanctuary as sort of a guest of the house, immediately following his extraction from Postmortal Labs. Belson spends roughly an hour talking in private with Dr. Gage, and you don't quite catch the specifics of the conversation, but when Belson finally approaches the rest of you, sort of eating with or just watching in horror as Quindon eats a tremendous amount of food, you can see that Belson he's just beaming. He turns to you. He says, Quindon, my boy, you have done me proud. Dr. Gage says he owes his life to really all of you, the whole team. This is absolutely fantastic. He sees your intervention as a stellar moment in the partnership between HEI and Postmortal Services. Corporate is going to hear about this, and you can be sure contracts are going to be flooding in when people hear how happy Dr. Gage is. His voice carries a lot of weight in this city. So truly, truly excellent work.
That's wonderful to hear. I'm sure we'd all really love to procure some more work. More than what's coming in.
To that end, I love your go-getter spirit. And to that end, I don't have a contract for you. However, my little birds, my ears on the street have told me that things at the Sacred Workshop are getting rather dicey. Something about vandalism and an angry mob. Look, I don't have details, but I think this is an opportunity for us. I'd like you to gather up and go head to the Cathedral of Yamanka. I have confidence that you can talk your way into a contract if the rumors are true, and if not, gather what information you can about the church's response to the explosion. There may be something that the company can exploit. All of this is all valuable stuff. Before you go, I would make a run on the Quartermaster Network. Given the crisis, our guy in the shop is giving quite a discount on emergency supplies.
So you're saying you want us to go in hopes that we secure a contract, but there is no pay to be had?
There's no pay yet. Again, I believe that given the current circumstances, put Sly up as the face of the group, and you'll find yourselves swimming in talons and scales before too long.
So we prostitute Sly.
No, that's not quite
No.
it.
Is essentially what you're saying, though.
Face.
Or we prostitute ourselves
No.
for work.
No.
Well, we'd probably make more coin that way,
Well-
but no.
Yes. I think
Yes or no?
no. But transitioning, yes. I do think that this could be good for business. After all, if we show up where crises are before they've really truly broken out, that will speak to our level of heroism.
Or they'll think we did it.
Well, flip of a coin, but with a badge on your side, hopefully, and the story of all we've done thus far, they will think we are in the right.
Sly has a point. But I don't like jumping into something without the promise of coin. But if you're sure, we could give it a shot.
I'm certain that regardless of whether the church will hire you or not, there's something of value to be had in simply knowing how they're dealing with the crisis. Again, this could lead to other contracts. It's all about networking, really.
Right.
Get them to know your faces. That's
We
going to
can-
be important in the next few days.
Also, eat networking, right?
Eat networking?
Right, it's my point. If we don't have money, we can't eat, right?
Well, not if Quindon keeps eating the way he's eating, which I'm not chipping in for next week's rations.
Everyone, knowledge can be its own currency.
Yeah, but you still can't eat that.
No,
Your body will still die, even if you have lots of knowledge.
you can trade it for things, though.
Like food.
Who's to say?
Oh, just saying it's important. Alright, so we're supposed to go to this cathedral then.
Mm-hmm. But
But
I think we should stop by the Quartermaster's network, especially if there's a sale. I love a sale.
I agree. There are supplies that I feel like we should stock up on.
sounds good.
Okay.
Well, if y'all are headed to the Quartermaster Network, can I just give y'all a very specific list? You're going to say exactly what's on it. I'll give you the money. Y'all can take care of it.
Of course, totally.
Where are you going?
Yes.
All right then. Oh, I'm just going to stay here and look through some of my books. Something's not sitting right with this badge. I just want to see if I can find anything.
Alright.
It's fine by me. Yes.
So Odile returns to her room. She's not given up for the day. She's got more research to do. The rest of you are free to do what you will. You can go directly to the cathedral, or if you wanted to take Belson's advice, you could stop. You could step through the mysterious door in your house.
Yeah, the door,
QMN. Quartermaster's Network.
Yep.
It's like QVC, but different.
I was like,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
door is easier to say.
So you go to the door that you have yet to open. And when you do open it, you see that there is just a dark... It
Check
looks,
for traps. Just kidding.
It was trapped, and
We're
you
all
found
done
it.
now, we're dead.
You see that you open the door, and it's just like it looks like a long, very, very dark hallway. And you step through this doorway in your sanctuary, and you experience a brief but intense sensation of freezing cold and a deep, bone-shaking buzz. It's horribly uncomfortable, but as you pass through the other side of the portal, it ends almost immediately. You find yourself in a flickering lantern light in the middle of a store. Shelves covered in dusty goods of all kinds stand around you, and there is a low counter ahead on which sits an ornate cash box that must be worth a fortune even if it's empty. Next to the cash box is a bell with a sign that reads, "Ring." What do you do?
What was that word? Sorry, I missed
Ring.
it. Ring?
Ring
Oh,
it.
Ring it!
oh, Grace is ringing it.
Grace is just like, BAM! Slaps that bell. A ring goes out. And a few seconds later, you hear like the padding of feet and some shuffling and this weird, low, indecipherable chanting.
Yes!
And as it gets closer and closer, we take a moment to talk to the fans. And read some comments.
Something's happening that we don't understand, but you do. Is this...
Adam
Jared
understands
understands it
very
as well. Jared was just pounding from upstairs because we understand. We have played with Jim for years, and we understand what's about to happen.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
uh-oh. That
We
scares me.
understand. There have been donations that have come in.
I got a hero point. I got a hero point. My first one.
There has been a Bit Boss Dark Knight giving a hero point to Katie.
Dark Knight.
And I guess I'm in for life gave a hero point to Jim Jam.
Wait, come back to me. I want to do my hero point dance.
Oh.
Cool. There's 2 minutes. In the meantime, $10 came in from Sarah BC1, giving Megan a mercy.
Yay! Thank you, Sarah.
Followed by another 25 from Sarah BC1, giving an edge to each one of us, but not Jim. Followed by another $5 from Sarah BC1. I forgot Jamie, so apparently there is an edge for you in there as well from Sarah BC1, Jim.
That would make sense.
Because that would be $30 total. And then Tyrex99 coming in with $10. Rady and Sly getting an edge.
Air high five.
Boom.
Nice.
Awesome.
The real POTUS back in my little moment was saying, what Nathan's trying to say is we take the path through town without the ambushes. That's what I always say. That's always the route we should take.
That's kind of his slogan.
Yep, exactly.
Claire Guido is saying, I wonder how grilled gator chicken would taste.
Would have been good. We should have harvested that.
I think Brian Summer here is talking about the wide angle because it says that diet is really working for Jamie. So thin, but like this direction.
I feel very like flat skin and like.
Oh geez, Zack Attack saying Zakaz need to go on a warpath just to make ends meet. Wait, Zakaz needs to go. Got it.
Also, Jim, you were dying live on stream since the real POTUS98, which I believe was just you falling asleep because you were drunk.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Jim's dead. We got him.
Got him.
Crossbearer18 has a very important question. How do we know that this Jamie is live and not pre-recorded? How do we know?
Because
I'll tell you what.
Kyle, that's how.
Yeah. Could we have planned that, Kyle?
Although, if we did, think
Right?
think of how cool that would be.
The future of technology.
Scott Denuza says Mega's an angel with a great accent and pointy arrows.
Oh yes, very pointy.
Oh jeez. It's Lucas Martinez says she did take some money to buy new weapons. She keeps losing them.
Yep.
Is that referring to me? Because
Yeah.
I think they're talking about
Yeah,
grades.
definitely me losing all my weapons.
In the meantime, Real POTUS has gifted their 256th sub to
Whoa.
Pixanerd302.
Yay, Pixanerd.
Penguin Witch Doctor has subbed. We've got follows from Mama Grigio and Koinov. And we've got
Mama Grigio.
cheers from Dark Knight, I'm in for life, and Sarah BC1.
I know who Mama Grigio is. It's
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for the donations. Thank you for the cheers, the subs. We will definitely shout out more of those as the show goes along.
Great job.
Absolutely. Well, so you're standing in this shop, and you
Go
look,
on.
You look to your right where this song is coming from, and you see a small, hunched over, robed figure that like picks up, you know, one of those on the counter how you flip up the little thing, and you go behind it, walks around, shuffles his way all the way over to where the cash box is, and you can see he must step up like on a box. Turns to you, pulls down a hood to reveal a scaly, lizard-like snout. You realize that you're looking at a kobold who is standing there looking at you, kind of head tilted. He says, "Buy."
Yes. We
Yes.
would love to buy.
Yeah, buy.
Other
Chinese?
things. Sorry.
Have.
We have money, yes.
Buy.
Do we see things on the shelf?
There's lots of stuff,
Okay.
all kinds of stuff. It looks like you see potions and scrolls and dusty sets of armor and mismatched sets of armor and weapons and just all kinds of things.
So Ka would pretty much have given this creature a glance, but then made a little lap around the room and started collecting potions, and then she throws a coin purse on top of the counter.
Okay. He looks at what you have. He says, 10 shiny gold, 8 silver shiny, yes. Opens up the bag that you've put down and starts counting out coins. He says, 5, 9, 1, 8. He goes all the way, he just counts out each coin one by one, but the numbers are all over the place until he gets to 10. He's 10. And he puts the coins in his box. And he goes in for silver coins. Does the same thing. He starts like 3, 641, 982,660. And he just keeps going all the way until he gets to 8 silver talons. And he said 8 and puts those in his box. Okay, bye.
I take my potions and I store them on my person and back away.
Good.
You are delightful. Do you work here all the time?
Yeah.
What do we call you?
Guy.
Guy?
The guy.
The guy. So you're the guy.
I'm the guy.
Do you
Okay.
own this place? Are you the only guy here, mostly?
Only one guy. Me. The guy. The guy.
How do you stack all these shelves so high?
I'll go up.
Alright, so apparently they can fly now. Alright, well here's what I want, and I'll set some potion bottles and money on the counter. as
Sure.
well.
And he starts. It's just the same process, one by one. It's this painstakingly slow process where he counts out all of the money that he's owed, one by one, numbers all over the place, until he gets to the correct one, and he puts the coins in the cash box. He seems so happy, like.
Oh, this is my turn now.
Bye.
I go over to the section with the potions. I just like do that. How many?
Okay. I forgot what you said.
It's okay.
Good.
I give him.
Takes all the coins, puts them in the box. Who else? Bye. Bye.
Well, I would like to buy as well, but I only need one of these, and I'll grab a potion and set it down. And I
Sure.
say, now I see my friends here are grabbing many a potion, and I draw my sword and I lay it on the table, and I say, "This is my weapon of choice. Do you have any way to make it more powerful?"
More what? You want? Ooh, on it, yeah.
Yes, I want it to ouch more, but also ka-ching a little as well.
You weird man. Weird man. You just want a little ooh, I give yes.
Yes.
Pulls up a little charm. It looks like a small crystal on a tiny little chain, almost like you would put on a bracelet. You've seen things like this before. Weapon charms are they're not as long lasting as a rune, but they're usually a cheap way to, in a pinch, add a little pizzazz to your strikes. You can use them as sort of like one-time magic buffs for your weapon. So the one that he holds up says, ka-ching, ja.
Yes, that should help as well. Yes, because and I'm sorry if I misspoke before. I want to hurt people more, but also have a chance to disarm them.
Oh, okay. He grabs another little charm. It looks like this weird fleshless finger bone that he sets on the table. He's, It's another weapon charm. You can tell, just like it looks like you would attach it to the weapon, very similar to the way you would the crystal.
All right, if that will do the trick, I trust you because you are the guy. Now, is there any way to help keep me protected a little bit more? Any simple charms like this? We do have somewhere to be.
He reaches down. He goes into this little display at the side behind his counter. Grabs another charm off of the rack. Comes over and you can see it's a small ivory snowflake. He says, "You'll get burned. Ouch! No, no, no. Is good."
That seems like a good thing to have. I don't want to get burned. Ouch. Yes, I will take that as well. All of these things.
Okay. Yeah. You sent me the list earlier, and I said, how much did I tell you it was?
I think it was around 5.
Huh?
JK.
I told told you how much it was.
Liar.
You said I think 16 and 2.
16 and 2. Yeah, that's correct. Yes.
Yep.
These scouts got him out. 12, 900, 32, 1. So he gets all the way to 16 and then counts out the 2 silver.
Quindon is has his elbows on the counter and is just watching this guy, highly amused.
When you put your elbows on the counter, you're like, bad. No.
Sorry.
How dare you?
As he's counting all this out, I'm just gonna kind of lean over to Sly and be like, there's a type of con where they say the numbers differently and then you end up paying more money than you're supposed to.
Yes, that's why I've been counting on my fingers at the same time.
Smart.
I haven't been counting at all.
Oh, you'll notice that later.
I go over to Quindon and I kind of give him like a stern elbow in the side and say, don't forget the rations for next week.
Alright, get more bacon.
Yeah, Odalie has some stuff she wanted to
Yes.
buy.
That's what this
Oh, yeah.
is. We also had a list. We have a list. And
Sure.
I
so
hand
he
over the
gathers
list.
up. Yeah, he'll gather up the supplies from Odalie's list as well, and take your money.
wonderful. Perfect. I'll bring her stuff back
Sure.
to her. But otherwise, I personally am good. Does anyone else need anything else from the guy?
Not today.
I would assume that I would purchase fresh food from merchants.
Yeah, you're looking around
yeah.
like there's nothing. Like this is all like none of it's food.
Yeah, and I say, yeah, I'll get more food. Are you hungry? Next
Are
week?
you?
I'll be hungry next week.
Okay.
We've
I
warned
could
you,
eat.
Quindon. We've warned you about this. You can't eat all of the rations.
I didn't eat all of them. There's
You ate 4 of the 5 rations. We need more than that to...
I didn't eat any rations. I ate muffins and bacon and jerky and jam and toast and the hams.
Zakah smiles because this is something that she's frequently dealt with Quindon in the past. So instead of like getting mad or anything, she kind of just realizes like, oh yeah, we've been down this road before.
I hold up my
Give
field
us-
rations and I'm like, I still have my rations.
Why didn't you eat those?
Because I was hungry for those other things.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
hungry for bacon and yams and hams and toast and jams.
Okay,
All right.
Coffee.
Well, yes, maybe we should take this riveting discussion on the road as we start looking for our next job.
Yes.
Alright.
Have I ever told you what the best meal was I ever had?
Oh, we've heard many times, Quindon.
Thank you, guys.
Serenitis.
Yes.
Figuring
I
things
stepped
out.
through the cold, the cold door.
Step through the cold, hoping to stay there forever. So you
And
can
I- as-
hear about Quindon's.
But I
meal.
pulled
And I,
Quindon.
and I go like talking to them
Rapid
about the
check.
meal, but then I stop and I kind of take my arm from Zakan. I look back at him and I say, if you ever get any Serenitis meat, you let us know, okay? And then I walk out.
All right. I have cards in case you don't know what exactly the items you purchased do, or if you need to reference it.
No idea what I bought.
Some potions. Stats are there. So you head back out into the sanctuary, having restocked after your recent adventures, ready to tackle the day. What do you do? Where do you go? What happens? What happens next, guys?
Well,
Oh, I don't know.
I would suggest that we head to the church.
I clean up my dishes
Sure.
by eating everything left on them and then cleaning them up.
But there's like
be-
one. But there's like one little last piece of bacon left on Quindon's plate, and Zakah walks over before he can grab it and snatches it up and eats it.
She clearly didn't get the rules from Adam Khan either.
I definitely think that kind of as we're going about all of this, that Grace would be keeping in mind any places along the path where she might be able to get more information.
Sure.
She also would have shared this information with everyone, especially Zakah,
Oh, okay.
in regards
Yeah.
to her brother and what she found, probably earlier on.
Cool. All right. So yeah, You begin moving your way through the streets of Fogdowns, and before too long, you come within sight of the sacred workshop of Yaman Ka. You can see immediately that Belson was not wrong about the church having trouble. There is a crowd surging around the steps of the cathedral, and armored war priests man barricades to hold them back. Angry shouting is audible even from hundreds of yards away, and perhaps the most interesting feature is a great glowing tableau across the face of the building. It depicts a fat, nude priest reclining on a pile of gold and jewels, stuffing his face with cake. You see emaciated, wounded, and sick onlookers surrounding the priest, ignored and forgotten. The image flickers occasionally, clearly an illusion. What do you do?
All right, this seems like one of those times when we could use your skill set, Sly. All right, well, we just go in and we're like, we're here to save the day.
Well, yes, I think diplomacy is the best policy.
Oh, diplomacy, that's what you call it. All right, yeah.
Yes.
I was just going to go up there and, like, start, brandishing weapons and
Yes,
scaring
I like
people.
this plan.
No. We speak of our exploits.
Oh,
they see us wearing our weapons. You do not wear a weapon unless you plan on having to use it.
I was planning on that.
Talking takes forever.
Yes.
Oh, that is also true.
I agree. Quinton just keeps walking in.
He starts walking. Yeah, I mean, you have to sort of bully your way to the front of the crowd, and you find yourself behind a low, sturdy barricade. There's an armored figure nearby who pushes someone trying to climb over the barricade back, but he casts a steely-eyed glance in your direction and says, "Stay back! Workshop's closed. Go home."
I remember what Sly did one time, and I pull out the badge and I say, HEI, and I go to climb over the barricade.
He rolls his eyes. Fine, come on. He actually lets you through after you flash your HEI badge.
And I think to myself, just keep walking.
I noticed Quindon do this, so I kind of I was back with them as we were devising this plan, and it's like I catch Quindon doing this out of the corner of my eye, so I rush over to Quindon, and I'm flashing the same HEI, and I get up to Quindon, and I, what are you doing?
I was going in. You said that
Okay.
we didn't want to wait.
Quinn, we go in together.
Yeah, I was waiting for you guys.
So
But at the front.
I reach inside my pouch and I kind of pull out a little bag of trail mix, and it's got more chocolates in there than it does the other stuff because it's the best kind of trail mix.
This is a good bag.
It's a good bag. And I give it to Quindon and I said, "Here, just stay with the group."
I take the trail mix and I go, oh, thanks. And I open it up and I start eating it and I keep on walking in.
Sure,
I was
the
famished.
whole bag of treats. You have to be the source of treats.
One of the
I always carry snacks for Quindon.
one of the war priests sort of breaks off from the barricades, actually escorts you up the stairs to the
I yell back for Sly and Grace and Odalie. I'm like, hey guys, come on, we're going in to see the wizard.
So with flashing your badges, they let you all through the barricade, and you are all brought before a pair of robed priests, dividing their attention between the angry mob down below and the massive illusion defacing the temple. One of the priests raises their arms, chanting words of prayer to Yaman Ka. There is a pulse of orange light. The illusion flickers momentarily, but then it stabilizes. "I can't concentrate with this rabble screaming behind us." Both of them then notice you all standing there, and they turn to face you with sour expressions. "Workshop is closed. You shouldn't even be on the steps. Be gone. Be gone."
Knowledge. Divine, right?
Religion?
Religion, that's
Religion
it.
check, yeah.
I don't know what just broke in my brain there. Yeah, I'm going to do a religion check. I want to know how this thing could have been created,
Sure.
this illusion, and how it might
This would
be
actually be an Arcana check.
dismissed. Oh, Arcana?
Yeah.
All right, cool. 15.
15. Chances are this is some kind of illusion that is being maintained by a spell that is relatively powerful, and you would guess, from what you've seen, that the priest before you is trying his best to remove it, but is currently unsuccessful.
Would it be something that I could aid him in?
No, you would have to know if you have Dispel Magic or Break Enchantment or any spell.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
Jim, I'm just sitting on a bunch of those spells.
Well, then you don't know how to do it.
I would go up to him and I would just say, we heard there was trouble, and as adventurers and being here to help. We were wondering if you needed any assistance.
Vultures, he says, sort of under his breath. But he looks at you and he says, well, you want to help. Fine. Fine. Our current and most pressing predicament is you can see that the church has been defaced.
Yes.
And this must be dealt with. I don't know if you've ever heard of Kettle Black, a treacherous, horrible little gnome who lives in Underforge, but she is responsible for this. And I am afraid that unless she comes back to remove it, I am currently unable to do so.
Glean lore Kettle Black.
This would be a society check. Yes.
I
Glean
don't
lore.
think he gave us his.
I'm gonna glean lore.
I
I'm gonna
also
glean
need
lore
to
about it.
check it.
Yeah, anybody with some society can go ahead and make a check on Kettle Black.
Ooh. Nope. Don't think I'm getting it on that one.
Ooh,
I should have called it out earlier.
19 on the die, that's a 26. Jim.
Ooh, 26. You are very familiar with the works of Kettle Black. She is an accomplished illusionist who fancies herself a performance artist. Her work is almost always critical of the power structures in the city, and she is famous for making a variety of very large public displays that have upset quite a lot of people. This is even just walking up to this place, like you had a feeling that this must have been her. Like this is exactly the kind of thing that she would do. Sort of looking at her work, it makes a lot of sense the way she is very clearly choosing to criticize the opulence of the church, while the wounded and sick figures are the sympathetic commoners of Fogdowns, clearly not being tended to by those who could help the most.
Seems like quite bad luck to deface a church, right?
We never caught your name,
You call me Foreman Tomas.
Tomas.
What do I know about Yamankai, right? That's the
Yeah,
that's
that
the
would be
god?
that'd be an old religion check.
Old religion?
The old religion.
All right.
Religion check.
I'm gonna add an edge to this.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yeah.
fans. I need every bit of it. That's a 6 on the die, which would be a 7 with my edge. With my religion, that is an 11.
Sure. Yamanka is said to be the creator of all things and order in the universe. It is said that the Great Machine is responsible for the workings of the universe. All natural law, all arcana, all the way the world works does so because the Great Machine runs, and Yamanka is the one who runs the machine, maintains it, and creates parts of it. He is a very stern and unforgiving faith, but it is a common one in Vantam, a city that sort of prides itself and reveres industry and work and productivity.
So I look at this gentleman. Have we gotten his name yet?
Yeah,
Tomas.
Foreman Tomas.
Tomas. I say, Tomas. This is a disgrace.
It's
You're
a disgrace.
absolutely right. Oh, and I follow suit. A disgrace.
A disgrace!
I say it is completely unacceptable that Kettle Black would do this. The Great Machine cannot function with this sort of type of disorder. This must be stopped. Do you have any knowledge on where we can find Kettle Black? Because we will do this immediately. As HEI people, we'll take care of this for you, free of charge.
Well,
Well.
I'm most impressed. Do you see? He turns to his companion, who's a woman who's just sort of been watching over all of this, sort of quietly. Says, "Do you see? Finally, somebody who understands the importance of image and who understands the Christ. You scoffed earlier, saying to yourself, well, we can ignore it, but clearly." This is a disgrace, and you see, you should learn from people like this. And the woman who's sort of standing behind him just sort of nods, but doesn't say anything. Says, "Well, if you, I do not know where the nefarious and disgraceful Kettle Black is at this exact moment, but I do know, of course, that she lives in Underforge, beneath the bellows, with all of the other dwarves and gnomes."
We will be on this at once. We will bring Kettle Black to justice and remove this disgraceful act.
Well, I certainly hope that you are successful.
And I turn around and start heading towards the Underforge.
I can tell that Grace really wants to be like, no, wait, we want coin for this. So I kind of like grab her and whisper in her ear that, let it go. Maybe Quentin might have a point. If we do this, maybe the next one will be paid double. We don't know, but... And I kind of lean over to Sly, who is anxiously picking away at his ring over there, fingernails, and I'm just like, look, it is very clear that we are short on coin these days, but we can't go back on what Quentin said. So, next time,
Right.
let's make sure he's not the one leading.
I agree. Maybe he'll eat less next week as well.
Yeah,
We'll make it
let's-
up in food.
Let's feed him something that slows him down, something heavy next time, like a stew, instead of carbo filling him. Because look, he's a quarter mile away already. We should really start
let's
walking.
go.
should
Yes,
go.
let's go.
Odalie, come on.
Yeah. Nobody's got her nose stuck in books at this point.
Wonderful.
So, in order to get to Underforge, you know that the access to Underforge is in the Bellows, and that will take you beneath the city. You move away from the church and all the way through Fog Downs into the Bellows, and you notice that when you get there, things are downright eerie. Ash here is very, very thick, and you can barely see your hands in front of your faces. The swirling glow of it is very disorienting. Sometimes you see groups of figures moving quickly along the streets, but none of them take any notice of you. When one group passes close, you can see that the figures are dressed as if for winter, with thick scarves over their faces and goggles hiding their eyes. They carry tools, bodies, stretchers, often bearing wounded. The tragedy of Seven Towers and the explosion is far from over. The wall of Tascalon's brewery will have many more names on it before very long.
As they catch up to me, I would look at them and I would say, hey guys, look, I told you that I owed you and I was sorry for the other day, for how I behaved. Trust me, me and Lucky have done this tons. You've got to build up good faith, not to make a pun, but you don't want to mess with the religious centers in a city. You build up good faith, we show them, we get our name out there, and people start to trust us. This will work really well for us. Also, by the way, that was hilarious. I'm totally on Kettle Black's side. But let's just see if we can, settle this calmly,
Quentin,
civilly.
It's not about the fact that we don't agree with what you're doing. It's the fact that you just do it and don't tell us. We're a team. You have to stay with the team. You have to update the team as to what you're going to do.
I was updating you just a little late.
In real time, you were updating us?
We also need to consider every variable. Have you considered how Belson will take to the fact that we are now doing an entire job for free, when he is the one who is garnering us work and who we owe money to?
He was the one I was thinking of first. He's going to be so happy if we make them a client.
I guess he might. If they're in, could we sign some sort of deal that if something comes up, they always come to us?
Exactly.
All right, it's exclusive maybe, but otherwise I think Bilson's going to want you to pay him.
And also, the great thing about having a Belson is you always have someone to blame. If someone says that price is too high, you can say, talk to Belson. If someone says, I do not like the circumstances, we can say, talk to Belson. If the church says, we want you to do this but cannot afford it, we will say, sorry,
Talk
Belson.
to Belson.
Exactly.
But we're the faces they see. We're the ones they interact with.
Yes, but he's the
This
face we
will
see.
work. Belson is a businessman. He'll understand. We have to drum up business somehow. Good faith in a crisis is a good idea.
I just want to know why we haven't thrown Bilson under the bus more already. I could have been using this for a while now.
No.
As you guys are talking, it's actually Odalie. You notice there is, as they're going on and arguing amongst each other, and you're making your way deeper and deeper into the Bellows, you begin to hear this sort of electric buzz in the air that is growing louder and sharper. And you realize that that's because the source of it is getting closer. And you look up into the sky as they're arguing, and you notice that there is a strange iridescent thing, much like a flying eel, that is darting and swirling around overhead, and then suddenly dives towards Quindon in a rush of aggression. And it is time to go on a break.
Oh, really?
It's time to go on a break. We are gonna go on a little bit of a break. We'll come back in about 10 minutes. We'll see you all in a little bit. Stick around. Tech, get us out of here.
Do it, I believe in you.
That did it. Computer?
Hello, Captain. I am Level 1 User Interface Starship Executive. You may call me Louise.
Computer sounds better.
I spent a lot of time inventing a designation that could be used as a technical-sounding acronym for a common human name.
Sure, computer, that's fine.
I am detecting the presence of a Starfinder beginner box in your possession. Should I run my character creation protocol?
Sure.
The Starfinder beginner box includes a full crew of pre-generated heroes. Would you like to hire them for your team?
They look pretty capable, but I'm thinking about living dangerously.
Very well. I will record this process so that anyone can follow your example and create their own crew members with ease. They can follow along on a blank character sheet from the box and refer to the Hero's Handbook for further details as they create their crew member. The core of this character will be their race, class, and theme. These choices will shape many of their capabilities. There are many sapient races exploring the Pact Worlds, each with its own unique features. You should begin by selecting one.
Well, the Vesk would make a pretty good crew member with their natural affinity for combat. And the Usoki, they've got these cheek pouches they could use to store They could use to store very useful cargo. And then there's the Lashunta, they've got psychic powers. Is there any way I can get psychic powers?
Settle down, Captain. Consider the Shirin instead. Their cultural fascination trait makes them ideally suited for interacting with other cultures across the Pact Worlds. They also have communalism, an ability useful for working in close quarters with overeager humans.
Okay, well, I do see telepathy here, which is really cool. And blind sense, oh, that's nice. They can sense little vibrations in the air so that it's almost like seeing in the darkness. You know what, Luis? I like it. Mark it down.
Yes, Captain. I'll fill in the character sheet exactly as you would if you could be bothered to physically do the work of writing. If you ever find yourself willing to pick up a pencil, the Hero's Handbook guides you through the process.
Theme, Luis. Let's focus. All right, I'm thinking the hardscrabble bounty. Deadly, determined, I like that. Or the mercenary, okay? Taking aim, taking names. I'm really feeling it.
Or perhaps we could prioritize more useful skills than killing everyone in our path.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Exploration, for example. The Spacefarer theme would be well suited to the Shirin's natural enjoyment of exploration and research. They gain science as a class skill, and their theme knowledge gives them a significant bonus when recalling knowledge about new planets or features of space.
Okay, you win this round, Louise. But I am going to be hiring somebody with a big gun and a bad attitude at some point. Now, these numbers, what am I looking at here?
For now, just fill in the boxes as instructed in the Hero's Handbook. We'll add them up toward the end of our process. Now, we should consider...
Oh God. Luis, what's going on here?
There has been a power core failure.
Is that bad?
Only if you intend for the ship to function.
Jeez.
Don't worry, Captain. There is only a 0.17% chance of this ship exploding from a power core failure.
Yeah, well, that's something.
Instead, the release of lethal levels of radiation into the ship will simply eliminate all life within.
Luis, is it time to choose a class for our new crew member? Because I think I know what I need.
Oh, I know this one. You'll want a charismatic envoy to convince the drive core not to melt you into a puddle of goo. Or perhaps a spell-hacking technomancer who can incinerate you with an overheat spell to spare you the pain of a lingering death by radiation.
Yeah, I think I know a mechanic, actually, to get this bucket of bolts on its feet, and needed to program you to be a kinder, gentler AI.
Now, Captain. Imminent death is no excuse to be rude. Let's take a look at what the mechanic class is capable of. The Hero's Handbook outlines many of their basic traits such as weapon proficiencies and which skills are class skills on page 28. But one of the key features that sets mechanics apart from other classes is the exocortex. The exocortex is a cybernetic processor that enhances their cognitive function and makes them one of the only classes able to use heavy armor.
The heavy armor sounds really great. Nobody's taking down my mechanic easy.
The exocortex grants either the combat tracking bonus to enhance the mechanic's accuracy in battle, or the memory module, which enhances a chosen skill and allows enhanced recall of information. You will have to choose.
But why? I kind of like both. Can't we just, add more brain implants or something?
It may shock you to know that brains are important and shouldn't be overly tampered with. Now that you've chosen a class, I can determine many basic functions of the character, such as saving throws, combat bonuses, and class skill bonuses. It will take a moment to input offensive and defensive statistics, but the mechanic entry on page 28 of the Hero's Handbook can guide you through it if you ever decide to create a character without my assistance.
Spacefarer theme and the mechanic class both give science as a class skill, so what happens there?
This will give the mechanic an additional bonus of 1, marked in the miscellaneous column in the skills section of the crew member's character sheet.
Great, so for the exocortex, let's go with the memory module, increase that perception by 3. And then don't forget the bypass ability for the mechanic, which is going to give them a +1 to their technology skill.
As a computer, it is impossible for me to forget things. You, however, with your error-prone human brain, are capable of forgetting. For example, the fact that every mechanic has a custom rig device acting as a toolkit and comm unit.
You have a custom rig.
I have already entered it in section J on the back of the sheet.
Yeah, sure. Cool.
Should you change your mind about being incinerated by a technomancer, or wish to explore any of the exciting ways a mystic could destroy you with magic, you can review their spell options in the classes section of the Hero's Handbook. For technomancers, these spells begin on page 41. For mystics, they begin on page 32. Chosen spells are recorded in section K on the back of the character sheet.
I think my stance on being incinerated is going to remain the same. Good there.
Just in case, I will save my record on magical immolation for you to review at a later time.
So, looks like we're going to have to be generating some ability scores for our new crew member.
You'll have to select one of the 3 possible arrays available in the Starfinder beginner box as seen on page 16. The focused, split, and versatile arrays all offer different levels of balance in your crew member's ability scores, such as strength, intelligence, or charisma. The higher an ability score, the higher ability modifier it adds to related skills and abilities. Additionally, each class has a key ability that is important to its function.
Let's stick with versatile. I want somebody who's good at a little bit of everything. And then I see that the key ability for mechanics is intelligence, so let's put a 14 there. Common sense, really great to have. Let's go with another 14 in wisdom.
Might I suggest a more nimble mechanic will serve the crew well? That last 14 should go in dexterity. You'll notice a chart in the Hero's Handbook on page 16 that tells you what the ability modifier is for each ability score. For the score of 14, you are granted a +2 ability modifier.
I like it.
We can now calculate your new crew member's resolve points. Resolve points are used to keep going and stay alive when your foolhardy captain leads you into a deadly situation and you suffer grievous harm. Every crew member has resolve points equal to their key ability modifier +1. A mechanic's key ability, as you mentioned, is intelligence, which has a modifier of 2. So adding 1 to that means that this mechanic will have 3 resolve points. Have you considered an alignment for your crew? What sort of moral guiding principles would suit you? Keep in mind, we are using the Hero's Handbook, so try to curb your desire to engage in dastardly schemes.
I don't have dastardly schemes. I'm a nice person. I'll tell you what, let's go with a neutral good mechanic, somebody who generally believes in doing the right thing, but there's some room for flexibility.
We'll now proceed through the complete list of skills, feats, and armory to determine equipment for your mechanic.
That all sounds like really useful information, Louise, but those repairs that I made were not good. I'm gonna need somebody real quick.
Very well. Since it is your first character, we'll refer to the quick generation suggestions on page 18 of the Hero's Handbook. We'll begin with your trained skill. This represents a skill outside the class skills you already have that your mechanic will be good at. The suggested skill is culture, which will grant a bonus equal to your level in culture checks. You should also note that Sheeran have a natural talent for culture and interaction skills, thanks to the cultural fascination racial trait, adding an additional +2 bonus to each.
The technology skill looks really strong, which is great. We're gonna need it to get this rusty bucket moving again.
Of course, they can always attempt skills they are not as proficient in. The skill bonus just represents how easy challenges will be for your mechanic to overcome. Next, you'll choose a feat.
Well, blind fight is free as a sheer and racial trait, so that's pretty cool. It allows the mechanic to easily find enemies in the darkness. Now, I know I said I wanted to use the suggested option in the Hero's Handbook, but I'm not really feeling Barricade for the mechanic's feat. Giving the team a defensive bonus for this feat sounds great, but I really want to go in a different direction. Extended Telepathy will enhance the Sheeran's limited telepathy trait and really just sounds cool.
And that's all that really matters, isn't it?
So, it's equipment selection time, right? We just give the mechanic this, call it a day?
Wrong as usual, Captain. Every starting crew member is allotted 1,000 credits to purchase equipment from the armory list beginning on page 56. But the Hero's Handbook does have a healthy suggested starting equipment package we can make available to your crew.
Great, we'll do it. It'll leave me with 42 credits left over, plenty of gear to work with. It's good. And that should do it except for the name and the character portrait. I'll put the name in box B on the front of the sheet, and then I'll put the character portrait on the back, but all that's gonna come later. Otherwise, it looks like it should do it for now, at least until we level up after some serious adventures.
I see you're skipping over the steps on page 17 of the handbook, plugging in additional numbers and adding up your totals.
Well, I was kind of thinking that since you're a computer, you could math.
Not all computers like to do math, Captain. You should be more sensitive. I will slow down my calculations so you can follow along with my process. We can now distribute the ability modifiers across the sheet and add our previously noted bonuses to reach the mechanic's total bonuses for armor class, saving throws, and attacks. These total bonuses are added to respective die rolls to determine the success or failure of attempted actions during our adventures. Higher results are desirable, so attempting things where you have higher bonuses increases your chances of success.
So now what? We wait for the mechanic to see these specifications and then contact us for the job?
Actually, Captain, I've already found a suitable candidate. I accurately predicted all of your choices based on your personality profile and the ship's needs, and our new mechanic is already here.
What?
Greetings, I am Zenka. I hear you have need of a mechanic aboard this ship and plans to visit many wondrous planets. I would join your crew if you will have me.
Welcome aboard, Zanka. Let's roll.
After you've finished your beginner box adventures, you'll want to pick up the Starfinder Core Rulebook, available at Paizo.com, your local game store, and anywhere else adventure can be found.
Better give me all your gold or I will gut you.
You're making a big mistake, Val.
Yeah, why's that?
Because I control the power of the universe.
If the atmosphere at your table is less than impressive,
That doesn't normally happen.
you may find it hard to create those magic moments your players crave. Lucky for you, Sirenscape is available for download on your mobile device.
Time's up.
Now that's impressive.
First time. Every time.
Go to Sirenscape.com today to download your free trial and get the right sound for your tabletop games. And don't forget to check out Sirenscape in action every Friday night on Dragons and Things.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey guys.
Hey DaT fam.
Where to even start?
I wanted to say a very heartfelt
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all your support.
Dragons and Things would not be possible without you.
We would not be here doing all of these things and doing this stuff and doing anything without you guys.
Whether you're supporting us on Patreon, or whether through bits on Twitch, or direct donations, or just watching us and sharing us with other people that you know.
For every dollar, every cent, every moment.
All your love, all your comments.
For sticking with us, for helping us build this.
The continued hours of watching, the time you spent listening.
Chatting with us on our Discord about your love of games, whatever it is that you're doing, to interact with the stuff that we're putting out there is so meaningful to us.
I know we've said it a million times before, and we will say it a million more times. You literally make this possible.
We can't do it without you.
A real, honest to goodness, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to all the fans of our show.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
It really means a lot to all of us. Thank you.
That's what Nathan's trying to do.
Uh-huh.
Hi.
Hi.
Now I can hear you guys.
Heyo.
Oh, they hear us.
We have it?
Yay.
Hey.
Okay, great.
All right.
Hey, is that our first big audio issue of the season?
Hey,
we got into 4 episodes without audio.
7 if you include the other story.
Yeah.
And I don't.
You're that Friday. He doesn't count you.
They're not included in my disaster chart.
And best of all, no one had to hear what happened during that time that you had no audio.
Katie burned a styrofoam plate because she didn't know you're not allowed to microphone them. Now that we've established that, microwave them.
You should microphone them.
Microwave them.
We tried to microphone it too, and that's
tried to
why
microphone
we
it,
had
it wasn't
audio
good.
issues.
Now we know what's really the problem.
Don't microwave the microphone.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Dragons and Things. That's how we do things here on this stream, so deal with it. I thanked Norse Foundry when you couldn't hear me, so let me do that again while you can hear me. Huge shout out to Norse Foundry for those dice cams. They are absolutely spectacular. NorseFoundry.com for all of the amazing products that they sell. And the sound that you can now hear from Sirenscape is coming at you thanks to Sirenscape. That is Sirenscape.com to download their app and get those sounds for your own game. If you haven't purchased an Elderwood box, well, do that. Go on to Elderwood Academy and then you purchase one of these amazing DaT show boxes. They're super awesome. The hex checks are super cool. Elderwood Academy. I guess there's only one other sponsor that we need to turn to. And it's you guys.
Damn.
Everybody, you want to chat for a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Now that you can hear us,
Now
let's
you-
chat a
yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit. Huh?
Real POTUS was
man.
saying, oh my god, Jim, this is golf.
That was in
Gold
reference
gem.
to the guy.
To the guy.
The guy.
Yeah, it's Lucas Martinez wants a recap next week by the guy, football cashier. I think that's a great idea.
I also like it's Lucas Martinez. Kettle Black is the DaT World Banksy.
Banksy.
So
Yeah.
hard to say. That's exactly what I was thinking.
And I have a personal beef with Dark Knight. Let's talk here. I get it, Dark Knight. We are heroes for hire, and I think you were really close. They are the HEI team, right? Kind of like the A team. Zakat can be Hannibal, sure. Grace as B.A. Baracus. I might have actually switched them because maybe the basher of the type, but I think it works. This is where it gets weird. Quindin is face. Quindin is face, and I'm Murdoch. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just. I think it's a fun breakdown. I think it's fun.
At least you have somebody to be.
That's true. You can be the van.
That's. Oh my gosh.
Okay, maybe that was worse.
Cool.
But we have some more follows too. And
Hey,
thank you
who's
for
following
those.
us?
We've got some follows from I think it's Maleo
right.
7 and Bruno returns. Finally, Bruno made it back.
Welcome back, Bruno.
Welcome back, Bruno. Bruno returns.
Did you not see the other follows?
Did I not see them? Oh,
Mine
it
doesn't
didn't.
update. Yeah.
It didn't
Weird.
update.
I have
Mine's
to. We
not
also
updated.
have
Go for it.
Kegikma
Mm-hmm.
and Laminivore.
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 I am
I'm gonna let you just.
Laminivore.
Yeah. Mhm. And we have some subs.
Yes.
Claire Keto gifted to Psycho Tick Ninja, Jukebox
Psychotic
Raccoon,
ninja.
Dog Blacklash. Wait, these are friends. Dorian with the great shoes.
And you don't know their names?
Well, because I don't know. And Harkila.
All right.
I was
Sounds
aiming
good.
for his mouth. I missed. Okay.
You did.
So what was I doing before I went on break? Oh yeah, you was attacking you with horrible creatures. You all need to roll initiative.
But you were specifically targeting Zakat, right?
No, Quindin.
I rolled infinity again. It's an infinity.
Now, unfortunately, we don't have our trusty minifigures today, so we're just gonna have to do initiative the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, which, by the way, not cool, Eric Raddick. Not cool.
Wait, you sure we shouldn't just punch in anyways? Just see what it's like?
Mm-hmm.
Just give the fans
Go
what they
ahead.
want.
Punch in anyways and see what is there. I don't know what to tell you. But Quindin, what does your initiative look like?
But Quindin is 15.
15 for old Quindy Hughes. What about Odalie?
I also have a 15.
What do those bonuses look like?
Oh,
6.
6 for you, so that'll be Odalie next.
All
Sly. Gilder.
14 for Sly.
Sly is on a 14. Zaka.
Also a 14.
I got a
25 over here.
Whoa!
Yes!
Nice.
Baracus getting to work.
Do you want to?
All right. Well, Odalie shouts a quick warning. You turn your eyes to the sky and see this weird, multicolored eel just buzzing down out of the sky towards Quindon. You notice that there's not just one of them. There's 2 of them. What do you do?
Where's Ursula? I think. How far up are they?
Currently, about 15 feet overhead.
Okay. So I think reacting quickly, I'd probably draw my sword.
Okay, sword's out.
And then. Can I reach? I'm trying to think if I jump.
15 feet is really high for that. You have 2 actions remaining, so you can ready.
I know you
an
want to get on
action.
my
You can
shoulders.
ready a
I
strike.
really do.
Do it.
That's what I'm thinking. Can I like climb up Zakah and just
Climb on top of
Wonder
Zakah.
Woman up there.
yeah, like we have. That's
I'll
really.
allow it.
I want to like do some kind of jump thing and just try to swing at him.
I mean, you
yeah,
know,
like, I'll do one of those,
you
like,
make an acrobatics check if
Yes.
there are rules
That's
for
what I
jumping
want.
high. It is going to be a wild DC, but
Okay. Well, I'm pretty good at acrobatics.
Can I aid her?
Woo. That gives me a 21.
21. You are able to get pretty high off the ground, but not enough to strike a 15-foot ahead creature. However, after you, it comes much, much, much closer. This one is not the one that was dive bombing old Quindy. This one was just coming in at the group in general, and it sees you leap up into there. You make yourself quite a juicy target, so it is just
Intimidated by me.
zip down towards you with 1 action. With its 2nd action, it is going to try to catch you in its horrible needle-toothed jaws. And to hit, ooh, that is going to be 24.
Oh, yeah.
I believe is going to get you. So you feel these little needle teeth dig into your flesh. And there is a burst of swirling energy as the teeth enter your flesh. You take 4 total points of damage.
Ow.
Though you can feel that some of that wasn't just the physical bite. There's some kind of weird energy that this thing exudes that seeps into your flesh. And then it just kind of whips its whole body around and tries to lash you with its tail for its 3rd and final action. That's only a 15, though, to get you, which I don't believe is going to hit. So you dodge the tail swipe.
Okay.
After it is done, Quindon, you look up and see this thing is just like coming at you. What do you do?
I think Quindon's still so hungry. He thinks of chopsticks. He wants to eat that thing so bad. It's an eel, and he wants sushi.
Ooh, that's a stretch.
Eat it.
Yeah. So he thinks about chopsticks, and chopsticks appear. And attempt to pinch the.
What?
It's 30 feet away, right?
It is 30 feet away, yeah.
Yeah. Chopsticks appear and attempt to pierce the eel.
For those who don't have a full grasp of what you're doing, could you tell me what action you're taking?
I'm not sure. I have a spell here that I believe you invented.
Okay, you're talking about your mystery spell. You want to manifest the chopsticks. Okay, so I take it that you are manifesting a ranged weapon then. These chopsticks appear and just try to strike, make a spell strike against the target of your wrath.
I'm going to add an edge to this.
Okay.
Because I believe I have one. Although my computer has died, so can anybody confirm, do I have an edge?
Yes.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them.
I have 5 edges? Well, I used one earlier, so I think I have 4 edges.
Okay, well, you have 4 then. I'll remove one for you.
That is a leaner, but it's pretty close to that 6.
Okay.
So that's a 14.
14 is a miss.
It's a miss?
Yes, it's a 2-action spell. These chopsticks just... Psst. Now, the chopsticks don't go away. They remain. But you do notice that in the swirling ash, you begin to see forms of maybe more creatures converging on you. You look around and you can't quite see your friends as clearly. They look so much further away from you than they were.
They're running
It's almost
away.
As if you're all alone against this just onrushing horde of these things.
I can't believe they run away. I can't believe I'm alone. Jim, I'm gonna take one more action.
Well, it's 2 actions to cast the spell.
Right.
1 action to attack. The spell manifests your
Gotcha.
item, and then
Copy.
you can use that item
Copy.
in the future.
Copy.
Right, yes.
Okay.
So it's 3 actions, but I do need you to go ahead and roll a d6 for me. As you cast the spell, you notice there is this weird surge of energy all around you, and it looks like all the ash that is falling around you begins to like converge on you for a moment. Roll a d6.
That is, I believe, that's a 1.
That is a 1. Okay.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Nothing really happens.
I believe they're yelling from up there, trying to decide if I was choosing whether a 1 or a 6. I always consider Gen Con to be the 6.
Gen Con was 6. Crystal Cast was 1.
Yeah, Crystal Cast is 1. Yeah, because I always consider Gen Con to be the 6 on the die. So this was a 1. Thank you, Odalie. Thank you, Jamie.
Okay. Well, nothing really seems to happen, but it is a very odd. Something weird appears to occur just before you cast the spell. But you don't have time to consider it because Odalie's turn.
What are these things?
Arcana checks might allow you to determine their exact nature.
That's a 14 on the die, plus 7 is 21.
Okay, with a 21, you know that you are looking at weird little things called void worms. They're not eels at all, but they are proteans that do not exist on the material plane, and they are attracted to areas of extreme chaos, and they typically well, I'll ask you this: do you want to know something about their defenses or something about their attacks? One other piece of information. Defenses. They have what is something called protean anatomy, which means when they take a specific type of energy damage, they become resistant to it for a while. So when they take certain types of damage, they become resistant to that damage for a time. Their anatomy actually shifts constantly to make them adaptable.
Okay, Odalie's going to yell this out as quickly as possible, and then she will cast Bane on the one that is closest.
Bane, which I believe is a will save on my part to see if I'm affected.
Yes.
I do need you to roll a d6.
I don't like that, but okay. 1.
1. Yeah, nothing. The spell goes off without a hitch, though you do notice there's like this weird surge of energy from the glowing ash all around.
Oh.
The will save, ooh, I don't know, that's kind of a maybe. 14.
Does not pass.
That is a failure! Alright, so I am affected by
Failure.
Bane, which is going to be a -1 to everything, yeah?
To attack rolls.
-1 to attack rolls. After Odalie does that, that was a recall knowledge, and then it's 2 actions for Bane? Okay, so that takes us to Zakaz's turn.
For Thespier!
She gets mad. Or happy.
Excited.
She gets pumped.
She
gets
pumped.
ready.
And I draw my great axe.
Draws the great axe.
But these things are 30 feet in the air?
Not
Or
the
is-
one that's attacking Grace.
Great. How far away is that one?
She's practically next to you, so
Great.
you could shift over with a 5-foot step and swing away if you wanted to.
That would be 2 actions.
Yeah, it's 2. It would be an action to step, action to swing.
Rage had to draw my great axe.
Okay.
So I will just stay right there.
You can, sure. You can stay right where you are. Sly.
She would also be relatively close to me.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And the other one is in the air.
The other one's still in the air. The other one hasn't acted yet.
Okay. I am going to kind of clear the space of those two because I figured they're going to handle that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to Well, I guess I won't because I know movement will take an action. So, because I want to draw, sling, load, sling, fire, sling. That's
All right,
3.
fire that sling.
Alrighty. Well, that just I didn't even get that into the box. There we go. All right, 12 on the dice, plus 7 is 19.
19 is a hit.
Nice.
Great. Yes. Okay. There it is.
Eat it.
D6. Yeah. 4 damage. With
4
that
points
one.
of damage. As you just fire this slingstone up into the sky. It strikes this little worm eel thing. There is a burst of energy as the stone comes into contact with it, but then the worm rights itself in the air, and you can actually see. Let's see. Nope. Okie dokie. That's it. 3 actions for you, so that takes us to its turn. So it was bearing down on old Quindon, but then you hit it with a stone, so it immediately zips towards you and tries to bite. That bite is going to hit armor class 19, so that's probably going to get you.
Yeah, that will do it.
The jaws sink into your flesh. You take 4 points of piercing damage and 1 point of chaotic damage.
Oh.
As there's this weird little like jolt of energy from its teeth, and then it does the same thing where it just tries to whip around and slap you in the face with its tail. But with a total of 16, it is going to miss on that second attack. That was all 3 of its actions. It's the top of round 2. Grace.
Well, first off, Vampire 54 got me a card.
Yay!
What? You get to draw?
Vampire 54.
We got the old draw coming
What
at
kind?
ya.
Why draw? What is this?
This is a deck of cards that when somebody purchases a draw, the people at the table get to choose a card, and each card has a unique and powerful effect. So depending on what you draw, and you can hold on to it for as long as you need. So let's see what you get.
Ooh, 3 of hearts.
3 of hearts, okay. All of the card effects are currently on our World Anvil. So if you go to our World Anvil, you can find all of the bonus effects and the card effects are online for you. Those, you can use that. You can spend that card whenever you want to give yourself 3 temporary hit points.
Awesome. That's helpful. Okay, so now this thing...
Now it's all up in your business.
Yeah, I want to say, well, that was dumb to it, because biting me was dumb.
Yes.
And I just want to... I still have my sword out, so I just want to try to slice it in half.
Yeah. It's a good choice.
Yeah, I thought so. All right. So that...
Ooh, nice.
Right page, right? Yeah. I believe...
Is that a 22?
That is a 22.
Got him. Got him good.
Nice.
Wow. After I slice him in half, I want to look at the other one, even if it doesn't see me, and just so it notices, hopefully, that I just killed
As
this
a
one.
warning
As
to
a warning.
the others.
Mhm.
Well, how much damage do you deal? Because it may not actually
That's
be
true.
in twain.
It probably is, though.
It's
I
probably
mean,
in twain, but it may not
yeah.
be. Who knows? We'll see.
We're all pretty sure that it is. That is 5.
Ugh.
5. Oh, I don't think I add anything to it. Oh, I do. Oh, wait. Yes, plus 2 piercing. So that is 7. 7 whole damage. Dead.
No, but it is hurt. It is
Still.
hurt. And that was only 1 action.
Oh, it is. Let me just slice it the other direction.
Slice again. This is at a -5.
Okay, so that's 17 on the die plus 9, so plus 4 for 21.
Yeah, 21's gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, kill it. Oh, so that's 3 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that's enough.
It's still in 1 piece.
Oh,
You could make another attack at a -10.
You know, why not?
Do
why not?
it.
Just
Do it.
really
Roll that 20.
intimidate it. Right? Oh, I rolled a 4 instead. Very close to a 20.
Yep.
So that puts me at a 3.
Yeah. Intimidating, but it is not.
That's
it's
all I was
not
going for.
impressed.
I was just trying to scare it this time.
Hey, the other one is very terrifying.
That's what I
It
want.
is its turn, and you notice that the wounds you've made close just a little bit. Not a lot. Not a lot, but it does seem to get just a little bit healthier, and then it tries to, again, just spin around real fast and whack you with that tail. But it's an 11 total because that was a horrible roll. So it is a little intimidated by you. So instead of just standing there and fighting, it is going to back up and try to get out of your immediate vicinity. Just away. It just backs away. It doesn't go up. It's still interested in being in the fight, so it doesn't go out of. It does not go up. It just moves to the other side of the street with both actions. So it gets pretty farther away and just sort of like seems to hover there, maybe hoping that it can regain some of its hit points before it has to re-enter the fray. After it takes all 3 of its actions to bite or slap and then get away, it is Quinden's turn. Now the chopsticks are still like this weapon you've created. It stays with you for the duration of your spell. You can continue to attack with it.
As he starts this, I want to go, don't go too far, my friend wants to eat ya.
There is one that is trying to gnash old Sly to death.
Quinden's very confused because he heard a voice say that something wants to eat him. He doesn't understand, but he concentrates on the chopsticks and smoke starts to billow oddly off of him. And he attempts to get the giant chopsticks to work.
One action to make a spell attack.
Great. I will use my edge as well again.
All right, here comes the edge.
Ugh! This is gross. Sorry, I've missed it, but that was a 5 on the die.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody. So that's not going to do it. That's a 6 plus 7 is 13.
13.
Quinden is just getting angrier and angrier. And also very kind of worried about this situation because he's assuming that this eel or something else Gary wants to eat him.
Yes.
So he wants to eat it first.
Yes.
So he will attempt to move the chopsticks again.
Yeah, you can attack twice. Yeah, it's just it's a weapon. Just out of curiosity, you had mentioned the word concentrate. Were you concentrating specifically to sort of fight through the things you were seeing, or was that just a
No, just a flavor. No, just a flavor. Yeah.
So this is your second action then.
Yeah. Boom. Okay. I'll use an edge. No, you know what? I'm not going to use
no
an edge because that hasn't been working. All right, here we go. I believe that's a 16.
16 will hit.
All right.
There you go.
Good. I'm gonna hit it with my chopsticks. And that is 1d8 plus 4. That's an 8 on the die. Plus 4 is 12 with my choppy sticks.
Yeah, I mean, Sly, you're standing there, and all of a sudden these giant chopsticks come flying out of the ash and just skewer this weird wriggling eel, and it just like flops around on the edge of the chopstick, and then just collapses to the ground.
You killed it.
Destroyed.
And I'm looking around for the other eel.
You see the other one. It has moved quite a bit further away.
Is it still within 30 feet?
It's not within 30 feet. It has moved...
well, I can't figure out where my companions are, so I am now going to focus and try to see if I can...
Suddenly, things start to come more into focus. You can see your friends are actually much closer than you thought they were. It seems like everybody's still there. They're looking at you like things look more real around you as you focus and concentrate. Totally, it is your turn.
So last turn, I actually misspoke him. Bane affects a 5-foot emanation to begin with. So it's only in that 5 feet. If a creature moves out of it, obviously it wouldn't affect
But I think you center it on the creature. So you center that on a creature, and then every turn you can make that emanation bigger and bigger to affect more and more creatures around it. But you still do center it on that creature. So it's a 5-foot emanation from your target. If your target moves, it's still affected by Bane.
Awesome, good to know. Well, she's going to cackle and make it a 10-foot radius.
There we go.
And then she's actually going to look to Sly and give him a little wink and nudge fate for him.
Nudge fate. I believe that's going to allow you to roll twice and take the better result.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
That's what it'll do. After that, it is Zakaz's turn.
How far away has this thing backed up, the one that was attacking
Well,
Grace?
it can fly 40 feet with a single action. And it took 2 actions, so it's 80 feet away.
Feet?
Yes.
Wow.
Can I sudden charge twice?
You can only sudden charge once.
But I can
what you
sudden
can do
charge
is
and then move.
you can stride and then sudden charge. You would actually not want to. So your charge lets you to move 50 feet, right?
No. I don't have a charge, just my normal stride.
Sudden charge
Oh,
allows
sorry.
you to move 50 feet, right? Because your normal stride is 50 or 25. Sorry.
Yes, yes.
Ridiculous.
Yes.
So a sudden charge is stride twice. That's 50 feet. If you stride, even if you stride once to get 25 feet, then you still need another
5 feet.
What's that?
Right.
Yeah, you would still need another 5 feet of movement to get to it. So you can rush all the way there with all 3 actions, but then you'll be 5 feet away from it at your maximum movement.
Your great axe doesn't have reach.
No. Well, I can't throw my great axe, but I could. Is putting it?
I mean, you
can I?
can throw your
No,
great
I'm
axe.
not
Throw
gonna-
it,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna-
Throw the great axe.
You can throw
No.
anything.
My sheet doesn't say that it's a thrown weapon, so I'm not gonna go break it.
But you can do it. I mean, I don't know. It's fine. I'll allow it.
Is it an action to put away and grab out a new?
Sure is.
Is it one action or 2?
It would be 1 action to put away, 1 action to draw.
Oh, I
Or
can
you can
do
just drop it.
It's a lot of really calculated moves for this super
It's
pumped up
annoying.
raging
Yeah,
barbarian.
it's annoying. It's really annoying.
It is really annoying.
Almost like, I don't know, balance.
All I could do is run up to it.
Hey, it's all you can do. You gotta get there.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay?
I'll
you
get
go
there.
rushing up towards it. You're 5 feet away. You almost get to it, but it moves so fast.
Glare at it.
Slide.
Well, shoot. So it is now how far away from me? It's 80 feet away?
80 feet away.
Okay. No, that won't work. 80. Sorry, now I have to do math, which I
Uh-oh.
wasn't planning on.
Math.
My sling has a 50-foot range.
Okay.
So that would take. I would need to move twice.
To get within its range. Now, you can fire at things outside of your range, but there's just, you take that penalty for being up there. There's -2 penalty to your attack.
Okay. It's a -2 penalty?
Yeah.
Okay.
For every range increment that you...
So I'm going to move up 1 because it takes 1 to load.
Yep.
So I'm going to fire from there. So it'll
25
be
feet away.
-2.
So you move 25 feet up, you load a stone or bullet into the sling, and then you can fire just at a -2 penalty because you're
Okay.
range. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to add an edge to it, so it's only -1. And thanks to Odalie, I get to roll 2 dice. They're not amazing, but it's at a. So we said we're at a -1.
Yep.
So that's going to be a 17. That'll still hit. Yes.
Will it?
Will
yeah,
it?
It'll hit.
Yeah! All right. Thank you, Odalie, making that happen. And so here is that D6. 5 plus 1 is going to be a total of 6 damage.
6 points of damage. This thing gets blasted by Sly from far away. It's still up, but it doesn't look healthy. And now it's Grace's turn.
Yeah. I want to go. So it's gotten fairly far away.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm probably gonna be in the same position. I'm gonna drop my sword, pull my short bow, and shoot at it.
Fine. What's the range on your short bow?
Let's find out. That is a good question.
300 feet, Jim.
Yeah, it's 300 feet.
Dang.
Yeah, 325 feet to be exact.
That's impressive.
327 actually.
Okay, you load, Hero Lab. You're right. You should load. Maybe it says on here.
Is my short bow 60?
500.
So it wouldn't be quite far enough.
The longbow is 100.
Short bow is 60 foot.
Well, I could do longbow instead. I honestly just picked it randomly.
Okay.
If that's okay. So I can get out of this. All right. Yes, I'm going to shoot at it with my very, very sharp, pointy arrows.
Very sharp.
She has the
very
pointiest
pointy.
arrows.
Pointiest.
The pointiest of arrows.
Pointiest of arrows.
So that is 26.
Okay.
Well, I think that it.
Okay, so I mean, you can roll damage, but
Is that a critical hit, Jim?
That's a critical hit.
Yeah,
no,
it
it's
is. Yeah, it is.
It is one away from a critical hit.
It's a critical hit, everybody.
It has 1 hit point.
No, it's a critical hit.
Yeah, it's a critical. I should definitely roll that D8 5. When what do I add?
Roll another one.
I roll
too.
another.
Roll everything to it.
Yeah, just keep rolling dice. Just say
more
any
dice.
number.
There's
Say
an 8.
any number you want.
246.
Yep, it's
for
still
sure.
dead because it had 1 hit point.
Missed it by that much.
This thing just drops out of the sky, skewered by another thing very like a chop. Lots of chopsticks flying around. This thing just falls boom, to the ground. You see, like, its weird glowing skin just sort of fizzles out. It shrivels up. What do you do?
Quentin is standing there while these giant chopsticks sort of float in front of him, and he's sort of tilting his head this way and that way as he sort of is articulating them with his mind, making them move and open and close. He's just sort of lost in that, kind of moving them around and experience, kind of like if this is new, trying to understand exactly what it's doing. And that would go on for another 40 seconds or so until...
Quentin, don't eat it. I don't think it's healthy for you.
You said they're lying on the ground, Jim?
That's correct.
Ribbled.
I totally would like to run up and pull out her dagger and take a little sliver of their skin.
Well, they are fairly small. Like, they're not very large. You could take the whole thing if you wanted. You just stuff them in your bag.
I guess I'm taking the whole thing.
Sure.
Audley, I don't think you should eat it either.
I'm not going to eat it.
Okay, good.
Sly's gonna pull his badge just so anyone in the area is just like, HEI, everything's fine, everyone, don't worry.
There's nobody here.
Who are you talking to, Sly?
I'm sorry, I thought it was more crowded. More people should be around when we do this sort of thing. It's good for business.
I agree. That's way more entertaining that way.
When Zakah comes out of her rage, she was already pretty, disappointed in herself from this morning, and I think the fact that she did nothing, she's just, really, really feeling a little disappointed.
It hurts. It hurts.
It's all right. They were intimidated by you. That's why they kept running away.
What do you do? The bellows is quiet once more.
Do we know quite where it is we're supposed to go to find this Kettle Black?
It's,
yeah, you know that you're actually still looking for Underforge, which you know how to get to. You were just on your way there.
So why did these? This is like, this would be an unusual thing to have these.
Yeah,
things.
you've never seen these things before.
Yeah.
I mean, Odalie had said that they're void worms. You don't know what void worms are. This is nothing you've seen.
Do I know what a void worm is, Jim?
He might.
What was this? What kind of check?
This is an Arcana check.
Great. Glean lore.
Glean lore.
Totally didn't
worms.
think out loud during the fight that they're not usually on the material plane.
Right, okay.
Well, if it's Glean lore, it's 14. If it's Arcana, it's 12.
Yeah, I mean, you basically know what Odalie knows at that point. You can recognize that these weird, and actually now that they're deceased, you can see that their bodies, as she's stuffing them into her bag, they're covered in strange designs that remind you very much of runes, though they're clearly just natural folds and creases in its weird little flesh. You know that these creatures, again, they tend to congregate where there is extreme, uncontrolled, chaotic energy. And as you're looking out across the city, and you can still see that the destroyed tower of necromancy and Seven Towers is still just belching this purplish now flame. And even as you're standing there and watching it, it very slowly shifts to become more red and then into a deeper blue. By the time you get done, the flames are now just green and shimmering.
And these flames have been going on for days.
For days. Nobody's been able to put them out because they're magically fueled, and it's not like you can't just dump water on a flame like this.
Do we know what is... I mean, I know that the city is pretty much throwing a bunch of propaganda that everything's fine, everything's cool.
Yes.
But do we have any idea what is being told to us, what is being done to contain the flames?
You know that emergency crews right now are focused primarily on containing the spread of flames and making sure that it doesn't go anywhere else. The current sort of orders, as you understand them, is you just have to let it burn itself out. There's no other way to deal with a flame like that, especially because even approaching it can have such wild and unpredictable effects, because it is basically it is a massive nexus for chaotic magical energy.
And we hadn't heard any reports of these worms before.
No, this is the first you've seen or heard of this. These
Lucky?
are not like been spotted around the city.
Lucky, have you ever seen these before in person?
No, I've only read about it.
Yeah, me too. This is troubling. I kind of...
Jim.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go for it.
Oh, I was just going to ask, the weirdness we felt with first casting spells, would we be able to roll an Arcana check on that? What was happening?
I will allow you to, because you have spent a lot of time specifically studying the ash and like measuring it, and so if maybe there's some connection you can draw. Go ahead.
Okay, 11 on the die plus 7 is 18.
18. Okay. Thinking back to what you were studying this morning and some of the readings you got that didn't make a whole lot of sense from Mesric's various implements and instruments, you realize that what you observed around yourself and Quindon was very similar to some of what you observed this morning, where it seems like this strange, untyped magical aura that the ash emits, it's almost like it gloms on to other directed magic, and you don't know what effect it has or if it has any effect, but it's almost like it attaches, and whether it changes or empowers it, you don't know. But you know it is somehow drawn to other directed magic. Like the spells you were casting seem to have some almost like magnetic effect with this. What that entails over time and what that really means for the spells you're casting, you don't know, because you didn't experience any change, but you saw a reaction.
Okay.
We have to keep moving.
Yes, I mean, there's nobody here. They seem to be just some sort of beasts, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think the thing that would be helpful to know is if they were targeting us, or if it's just part of random occurrence because of the city. But I don't know how we're going to know that. It seems like maybe part of your research, Odalie.
Yeah, I'll keep my eyes on it, but there's no way to know right now.
Right. Well, then I suppose we should move on.
Yes.
Okay. You move on. Before too long, you finally make it to the entrance of the underground city known as Underforge. The gates are sealed, but as you approach, dwarves in heavy gear wave you forward frantically. They let you into a huge antechamber where you are met by a robed dwarf who tells you to stop about 60 feet away from him. He says, "Arms out! Hold still!" He levels a wand at you. A moment later, there is this huge gust of wind that blasts the ash off of each of you, and as soon as it dies down, the dwarf waves you forward. "All right, through the gates, let's go."
What was that?
Now we're just trying to keep as much of that out of there as we can. Don't worry.
I press forward.
Okay. You get into Underforge. It is a remarkably spacious, well-lighted, and vibrant area. These are no dusty, cramped tunnels the dwarves and gnomes are living in. you can see that being underground has left this area of the city relatively untouched, despite the fact that it's so close to the blast zone from the Seven Towers explosion. People seem to be moving about the streets, which is almost disconcerting at first because you're used to very, very sparse movement in the city above over the last couple of days. But down here, people are going about life pretty normally. But you can also see that they've done an excellent job of keeping any of the effects from above from getting into their little slice of the underground here. Despite the fact that it is underground, again, it's very well lighted. Like, they keep active light around constantly. They actually, that they keep a cycle, much like the cycle above. So there's actually like a day and night down here, but it's all artificial. And they do their best to make sure that they make people from the top side as comfortable as they can in the Underforge. So it's actually kind of nice down here.
It doesn't seem disrupted by what is happening up there. No, it doesn't seem
disrupted. You notice that especially right around the entrance, again, like they stop. Nobody's ever been stopped at Underforge. Like the gates are almost never sealed. Like it's all very strange. But once you actually pass through that and get into it's like you're just being. It's almost like being in one of those indoor markets at this point. There's just lots of people, and people don't really seem to take notice of you.
So nobody greeted us. There was no like customs we had to go through or anything that.
There's always free passage in and out of Underforge. It's literally just like another part of the city. You do see that it's mostly dwarves and gnomes, but aside from that, there's really not much change.
Now, there was, prior to the incident at Seven Towers, there were increased patrols throughout the streets,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Do I notice any sign of that down here?
No, you haven't noticed. You don't notice really any. I mean, occasionally you'll see somebody in an enforcement uniform, but it's actually probably less frequent right now because they're not assigning people to patrols right now. Everybody who's on the city payroll is responding to the crisis above.
So all we know is we're down here to find Kettle Black.
Down here to find a specific gnome. You know she's a gnome. You know she's relatively famous. You don't know where she lives. You don't really know much else about her at all. Unless anybody who has not made a society check wants to try to make one. And see if they know anything about...
I'll make another one, don't worry.
No, I already made
Anyone?
one. It wasn't sufficient.
Odily, would you like to make a society check?
Unless I can make an underworld lore check.
Last time.
Yeah, she already rolled the check.
Yeah, underworld lore, yes. Go ahead and make one, just to see what you find.
I'll throw an edge on this. Information is good. Awesome. So that's 14 plus 3 plus my edge is 18 total.
18 total. You don't know where Kettle Black lives. You don't know her favorite spots down here. But what you do know is that Pockets has an informant down here. His name's Kite. And he frequents a spot known as the Dented Helmet. And there's a chance that if you pay him a little, he might know what's going on down here. Especially if she's making noise right now, he'd probably have a good idea of her whereabouts.
Yeah. So I'll say that to the group. Well, now, I may not know where Kettle Black is, but I have an associate down here. We just need to go to the Dented Helmet. It shouldn't but take a few minutes, maybe a coin or two, and our information is there.
Great. There's also plenty of other people walking around. Why don't we try to ask? And by we, I mean you.
All right, well, I mean, from the sounds of it, Kettle Black is pretty well known, so I would assume that we could find a few.
Yes, but those who may know may also want to protect her, especially with a group of adventurers and heroes walking around.
Oh, you just threaten them.
That
like that
is
plan.
one way to go about it. I think we start where, at least I have an inkling that there could be information.
Well, Sly, lead the way.
I head to the Dented Helmet.
Okay. You go to the Dented Helmet, which is actually a food joint. You head in, and there is just in the middle of the floor, there's this big like barbecue pit with a spit, and there's a roasted pig that people just come and like cut hunks off of, and you happen to know when that one's gone, they'll just replace with another. Like that's just constantly what it is. You see the Dented Helmet itself, the very object for which this place is named, hangs above the sort of there's like a bar kinda. It's not really, they don't serve alcohol, but where basically people, or where you go to pay if you want to eat there. There is this shelf with a huge dented helmet on it. The man who purchased, the dwarf who purchased this place and runs it, used to be an adventurer, but used his retirement to open this place and sort of lives on the income from the restaurant now.
Wonderful.
You find Kite himself is sitting in a corner by himself, and he's munching on bits of pig. When you arrive, and he looks up at you and smiles a little bit. Says, "Oh, Sly! Somebody told me you were dead."
Yes, yes, that rumor is going around. Hope I don't dishearten you to show you the opposite.
No, it's fine.
All right. Kite, happen to be on the lookout for someone. That wonderful... Do you know that artist that did the piece? Have you heard of this? Up top yet? The Temple of Almankar?
We all lean in real hard and not suspicious like.
Have I heard of the artist? Well, that depends. Which artist are we talking about?
Oh, what is
Could be any number. There's a lot of them.
Kettle Black.
That's
the
one. Yes,
I know her. Everybody knows her. Everybody's heard of her anyway. I don't know if you know her. Mean customer.
Mean customer?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean fiery. You know, fiery.
I could understand that. She seems to have a passion about her that screams through her work, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. You know, I don't really care for art. But, you know, it is funny how mad everybody gets about it. Did you see that one time where she made that statue in the counselor?
The counselor.
It was rubbing up against the bank, and it looked like he was... people got really up in arms about that.
Yes, that was one to remember for sure. You do not happen to know where she is about, do you?
Oh, well, I mean, even if I knew something like that, as I said, fiery woman, I certainly wouldn't want it getting around that I was...
Of course. And I do my little finger trick with the silver as it's just dangling there. Of course. I flip it to him. Information is wealthy. It is rich. It is rewardable.
How much have you given? It was just the one?
The one silver.
The one?
It was
Okay.
just...
He takes a look at it. He pockets it a million and says, well, you know, I mean, yeah, but she became really angry if she found out that I was telling anybody who was asking about her.
I'd like to try with that and a little bit of a smile for some diplomacy.
Sure.
Just this idea of like, I am discreet. We know each other. I would not.
Sure. Go ahead and roll a diplomacy check.
All right. I'm going to add, I think this is actually my last edge, but I'm going to add it to it because it's important. Ooh, that's, well, who knows? Who knows what it could be?
Could be anything.
Let's see, is 13 good or bad luck?
13's not terrible. 13's not great. He's looking at it like, I mean, that barely covers what I paid to get in here for lunch, so, you know.
I lean over and push a gold scale across the table, and I say...
Slaps his hand on the gold, draws it off the table into his pocket. So yeah, she lives over on Diamond Lane and Mulberry.
Well, that was easy. Next thing I was going to push was a sword.
Oh, hey, we got some new people in here.
Mulberry.
Ooh, we got raided!
Raid! You know what?
Raid!
That sounds like maybe we should take a moment to talk to all of the new people that are
Yeah,
out there right
let's
now.
chat
Huh?
up.
Let's take a moment to chat with the fans.
We are being rated by. Oh, it keeps going away. Hang on.
Shattered Tabletop Games.
Thank you.
Tabletop Games. Thanks for the raid,
Thank you.
guys. That is so
Welcome.
awesome. We hope you're enjoying it, your time here with us.
Woohoo! We are dragons and things.
Mm-hmm. For those that don't know, we're currently playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition. So if you don't understand that, our chat is full of people who have been learning right along with some of us even. So just feel free to ask a question, ask for clarification. We've got people there to help out.
Yeah, and our campaign has pretty much just started. We're only a couple episodes in, so it's super easy to catch up or jump right in where you're at right now and follow along with us.
Mm-hmm. The big question that's being asked right now. Oh, Odalie. No, go, Odalie.
Go right ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say, the big question that's being asked right now is, dang, is Vantam turning into a magic Chernobyl? It could be. It could be magic Chernobyl.
Jim liked Chernobyl.
That's a good show. Everybody liked Chernobyl.
And the boys.
Jim was not the only person.
I also want to make it known that I'm in for life has given me a hero point. Yay! Get another hero. Yeah!
Ooh, good throw.
You can only have 3 of those. How many do you have?
2.
You got 2.
Well,
So
don't
you
worry.
have-
If I can knock her down to dying, she has to give all of them up. To
That's
save
right.
herself.
Or she
So
has
I'll
2
just-
rerolls.
I'll just kill her.
Probably will.
Or it's 2 rerolls.
Warrior Longknife asks, is this an entirely homebrewed setting and history? Because if yes, it's very impressive.
This is a homebrewed world, and we actually have a world anvil, which is a place where we post all about our world. Like the whole lore is out there. At least it's being released as the season continues. So you can go to World Anvil. I don't want to, because the link is weird. So I think we have the link. Can we put it in chat? Because saying it is weird because it's not
Weird link.
like I can't just say
There it is, it's in there.
worldanvil.com/DaTDragonShow. There has to be a W in it.
Yep.
It's weird.
It's in there.
Okay, cool. Use that link to find out all about the world that we are playing in, which is entirely homebrewed.
I also like Jake Bacon's comment, Grace's arrows really get to the point.
There it is. There it is.
There's the joke. There's the joke. Scott Denuzo is wondering if the dent in the helmet is Nancy-sized.
Be a Nancy-sized dent in it. I wonder what would a dwarf have done to get a Nancy-sized dent in his helmet?
I just want to rapid fire say hi because we're getting so many highs in here. Jam5 Princess, hi. Thanks for joining. Hold on. There, two. I don't know how to pronounce it. Something monk.
Where?
And then
Something monk.
Something monk.
We hope you feel appreciated
And
by
then
that.
J Crutchfield. Hi, thank you. Thanks for joining. Bess. Oh gosh, every time someone comments, they go away. Sorry.
You're
guys.
really good at rapid firing.
That was very rapid.
Really quickly.
How about this?
Sorry guys. Thank you for joining. We really appreciate it.
Yes, all of you who are new to the stream, thanks for joining. You will find that if you have any questions, DaT Fam is there to help. We are a super open community, and we are happy to have you here. With that said, why don't we go ahead and play a little bit more game? You
Tofu
found
chip.
out where Kettle Black lives with, all it took was a little more money, and he was happy to give up the goods.
Just a little.
Just a little bit more. Didn't even miss a beat as he tells you exactly where to find Kettle Black. What do you do?
I go there.
Go straight there.
We go there. Okay.
And I pound on the door.
Whoa.
Sure. So
Whoa!
Frighteningly aggressively.
you get to where you're going, and it looks like the spot that you've been directed to is a bust. You see that it's this narrow alley that runs for about 60 feet, ends in solid cavern wall. There's nothing here.
I don't believe that and actively disbelieve it.
I actively disbelieve it. Do you want to make a perception check?
Yeah, I'm going to make a perception check only because I know that we are specifically looking for an illusionist. And
So Quindon, I would imagine you probably say, I actively disbelieve all of this. And you begin running your hands along the walls, and you see, you get to one spot where your hand actually passes into the wall. And as you sort of like wave your hand around, there's nothing here. And slowly that wall becomes very indistinct for you. Everybody else, you can all see this, but you can see his hand moving through the wall. And as it becomes very indistinct, you can sort of see that it is nothing more than an illusion, hiding a little nook where there is a ladder that leads up towards a window.
so this whole time, it does feel like Quindon is a lot more focused. or he's concentrating, or just as people talk, he's very much kind of. So he looks at that and he looks back at everybody. And he says, "There's a ladder here. Should we go up?"
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
What if
I start climbing it.
What? Quindon! I grab his boot.
Yeah?
What if
I flinch, actually, like, violently from that. I'm like, yeah.
we have a friend that can climb very easily and report back? Don't we, Odalie? In our little friend Draven?
Oh, I thought you were talking about me because I can climb.
Can
You're not
Draven
little.
climb up and report back if our quarry is even here?
I mean, he could, but I don't know if there's danger like that.
All right.
If you think it's the best idea, we can do it.
I think it would be less conspicuous than Quinn just climbing up the ladder.
We came here to talk to her. Let's.
I may
What are
not
we
be
waiting
seeing
for?
things entirely clearly right now, but I feel like we're being very conspicuous right now with me on this ladder and you pulling on my boot.
Well,
Having just gone through her illusion.
I would like to walk up to them, kind of scoot Sly aside, and I'd like to, if possible, just kind of pull Quindon down.
I fall down to the ground.
And I start climbing up the ladder.
Okay.
I am not
Yeah.
having it.
Within, it's just a ladder. You get up there, you can see, you're at the window. Through the window, you can see what looks like a small apartment. There are canvases, tarps, half-empty paint cans, and soiled brushes that litter the space. You see that there's a walk-in, you see that there's like a kitchen area. There are 3 other closed doors. You would guess that the one that's directly across, maybe that's like the door out into like a hallway. And then there must be like 2 other little side rooms in this apartment. It's a very small space. Cluttered as all get out.
I would just, I'm hoping I'm hearing my
I'd be
fellow-
right behind her. Yeah.
Okay. So then I would probably wait for at least Grace or one other person
Sure.
to get up there, and I'd say, "Hello? Is anybody here?"
Do you think this whole thing's an illusion and this place is like way bigger?
Ugh, magic users.
There's a cookie in my pocket. I pull that out and start eating it.
Do you think that illusionists ever get confused about what's real?
No.
I'm just saying, like, maybe she's lost. Miss Black?
You see, as you're like calling out, one of the side doors like flies open, and this gnome steps into the room. She's got a half-shaved head, and the hair on the left side of her head is vibrant electric blue, and it falls over her molten bronze eyes. She folds tattooed arms in unison and gives you a haughty look. It's staring at you through the window. She says, "What are you doing here?"
Well, we're here for you, clearly. I mean, we got all the way up here.
We're big fans. We're really big fans.
Oh, right, yeah, big fans.
Of your work. We were sent here, though, and we do have a request that we hope perhaps you'll help us out with.
Probably not.
Mid bite between the cookie, I go, "Did you tell her we're big fans?"
We did. Yeah, but also we've got lots of weapons if you don't like the fan part.
Okay.
And I draw my great axe. I'm backing up Grace.
We can feel slide.
And can I intimidatingly pull out my great axe?
on the ground.
So am I. I mean,
just
a
out
cookie.
of curiosity, whilst you are on this ladder, and you
No,
get,
I'm up.
so there's a ladder and there's the window. Have you like as
you
far as
climbed
you
into the
guys were at the window?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that I had already been inside of the apartment. I have to crawl through the window? Or get through a window?
You would have to go through the window, yes, to do that. Which you can do. I mean, it's a window. The glass is not exactly.
I'd have to break the glass too?
Well, I mean, you could try to. You haven't tried to open it. You climbed the ladder, and those were the only actions you declared.
I'm sorry,
so I didn't assume
thought we
any
had reached-
further.
Thought
I
we
didn't
reached the top.
I didn't assume you were bursting in, but you can.
So are we sharing the top of the ladder together?
Like this. Yeah. I actually assumed there was a landing and then the window.
Yeah, that's what.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I would think we would at least go Or maybe try to open the window so that we can yell.
We're not
Yeah, I
threatening
mean,
her yet.
If you try to open the window, like it opens, and you see Kettle Black is just like, "What are you doing?"
All right, if she opens the window, I step in.
Okay, you step into the. Okay, now you are in the apartment.
Listen, we don't want any trouble. We just have a request as we barge into your home.
Here's my axe, my sword.
Listen, this whole not being a landing thing completely threw off our game jam.
Well, I'll tell you, it threw my game completely off. So I had intended for us to use this as a way to do diplomacy as an encounter, which is something that you're able to do
Intimidation.
in the game. So
You're
the
also
way this
able
will
to
work-
do intimidation in the game,
You
too,
are
Jim.
able to then, and this is a strategy. So here's how this works.
Oh, crap.
You burst into the apartment as she's like, "What is it that you absolute psychopaths want?" You can do as a group, although half of your companions are still down on the street below. Each round, you can make a perception check to try to determine like what will work best for dealing with her with Kettle Black. Every round after your perception check, pass or fail, you can make either a diplomacy, bluff, or intimidate check. Using the proper skill is a lower DC, where it's much more difficult to use one of the other skills. However, using perception will help you determine which skill is going to be best. There's also an alternate skill that if you pass your perception check, you'll know. And that alternate skill might be something like a society check or a medicine check. Like there's a lot of different things you can do that will help you. So she demands to know what you're doing, especially now that you've stepped into her apartment and you're like threatening to draw weapons and do this. Since you two are in the room, what was that? I'm sorry.
We weren't threatening her until we found out there was no landing. So
No. You threatened
backtracked
before
to
there
threaten.
was no landing.
It's fine.
Either way, you have broken entering, and she's clearly upset about this. So why don't you make since you are there to observe her, each of you can make a perception check.
Okay. 18.
Okay.
22.
22. So both of you determine that trying intimidation at this point is probably going to go very poorly. She looks like she's very on edge seeing you get through the door. You can tell that lying, she's probably pretty savvy and isn't really gonna fall for a whole lot. She's not really gonna believe whatever comes out of your mouth at this point because you have broke into her home.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Perhaps diplomacy to calm her down would be a better option, or you could use society if you choose.
I'm gonna say to her, we apologize. We don't mean to barge into your home. We don't understand magic and the type of illusions that you have used here, and we didn't mean to barge into your home, but we do have a request of you, and I know you probably don't want to oblige to a request, but
I'm sorry, just the idea that the windows confused you on how magic works.
can you not laugh while other people are playing? Thanks.
I'm gonna try.
When it's
So
funny.
you're
And
like
I'm
trying to calm her
trying
down.
to- and I just-
Go ahead, since you're the one who's taking the initiative. Go ahead and roll a diplomacy check.
Okay, that's a 10 plus 2. And I'm gonna use my edge.
No, you gotta declare it before.
Ah, crap. Alright, well, that's
You
a
can
12.
tell that she's a little standoffish, and that but as you're talking, she seems to soften just a little bit, and rather than like scream for the guards or cast a spell or anything, she at least seems willing to figure out what the heck is going on. Maybe it's even just idle curiosity. But luckily, since you used the skill that requires the lowest check, you were successful.
I tell her, I am
She
Savannah.
says, "Okay." She seems to be eyeing the fact you've got this great axe in your back, you've got the bows and the sword. She says, "Okay, wait a second. I know what's going on here. So you're Tomas's lackeys. How very inspiring."
Lackeys.
You know, I have every right to criticize the church. They've secluded themselves in their golden palace, while the people suffer like always. So if you think that I'm going to listen to you just because he sends a bunch of toughs and thugs to try to intimidate me into doing anything, you've got another thing coming. At this point, you can make another perception check. to see what you can see. You guys too, if you want to start like getting up into the room, that's fine. Or you can just wait down below and see what happens. It's totally up to you guys.
19.
19?
21.
21. So both of you again note that at this point, continuing diplomacy is probably a good idea. But you also notice that her anger and bravado might be a little false, and perhaps applying a little pressure and trying to intimidate her might be a little more successful than before. Lies are probably still out of the question. However, you note that she seems to be very concerned with the fate of the people that are not being serviced by the church. So perhaps a medicine check, an attempt to convince her that people, if the church is currently not helping people, if there was some way to convince them to do it and she could be a part of that, it might actually be in their best interest.
Okay. I think Grace, in this instance of still kind of being new at some of this, would say, listen, I think what you did makes sense, although it is quite bad luck to deface a church like that, so you should be careful of what might be coming at you. But beyond that, we aren't lackeys, and I resent that, incidentally, but we just are here to help. We are heroes for hire, basically, for the city, and we're just trying to help everyone out because, you see, the people who do follow the church, it's quite upsetting to see something like that. You know how church people get, they get real offended easily by everything. And if you're wanting to help the town, you're actually kind of upsetting them. There might be a better way to go about it.
Which skill are you trying to...
Probably diplomacy in that instance,
Sure.
yeah.
All right. Again, you're fairly confident that that's your easiest bet.
13.
13. Again, you're barely scraping by, but you're scraping by. She seems to, again, still, she's listening. She's listening. She lets you have your say, and then she sort of crosses her arms again and she says, well, what if I say no? So you're gonna, what, beat me into submission?
No.
You think you're the first group of armed thugs to ask me to take down my art? I'm not budging. I'm not scared.
We're not...
At this
make another...
point...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Oakley would have climbed up.
Okay, so yeah, last round, Odalie climbs up into the room and sort of hold herself over her head. And you see Kettle's just like, what? There's more of you? This is ridiculous. Oh, of course, no. So what? You just gonna gang up on me and beat me up if I don't play along? And now everybody who's in the space can make a perception check to see how best to proceed.
Would...
Oh, boy.
That's a 10.
I got an 8.
An 8? Okay. You're
19
not
for-
quite certain. What was that?
19.
19?
19.
Okay. You know that at this point, perhaps reminding her that she is outnumbered and outmatched is the key to gaining her cooperation. You would guess that this is not the time for soft tactics, so diplomacy would be out. And you know that perhaps, the alternate skill that you could use would be Arcana for this one.
I think with this knowledge, Odalie looks her dead in the eye and says, oh, yes, you're outmatched. I've got these girls with me. They've got their bows and swords and great axes, but they do not need that if you don't follow along with us, because I don't need all of those. And I'll have Draven climb up onto my shoulder.
Okay, all
So
right.
I'll get her as well.
Which skill did you want to use?
And I'll use Intimidate.
Intimidation, all right. Throw your weight around a little.
Okay, 15 on the die plus 3 is 18.
18. You can see that as she's looking around now and her shoulders kind of slump, she says, you know what, this isn't worth it. You know, if this is how it's got to be, fine. I'll go. I'll do whatever it is that you need me to do. Fine. What do you do?
I say thank you. There are other ways to help people. And I know that sometimes making someone laugh can be helpful, especially in these dire times. I know that better than anyone, performing in the Rivenwing Arena. But sometimes it's just about doing something for the greater good. And you, by accepting this, are doing that. Thank you.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about laughing. I don't see how anybody can look at what's going on and laugh. If anything,
Your
it should make us all
illusion.
angry.
Your illusion
Was it meant to be fun?
Oh, well, then maybe it didn't quite work, right? Because there was some laughing.
Whatever.
Did you tell her I laughed at it?
Also, our companion down there laughed at it.
Whatever. You don't understand art. Just give me a moment to get my things.
All right. I also want to just like kind of punch Odalie in the shoulder, and be like,
Good job. I liked
Yeah.
that. Oh, sorry.
Odalie takes 5
Thank
points
you.
of damage and passes out. She is dying too.
No, I have more than 5 hit points.
It was a critical hit. What can I...
After thanking Odalie, because I definitely want to make sure I do that, I don't want to take my eyes off of
Okay,
her.
sure. So
I would
she
like
goes
to
back
be
into
ready.
the room that she came out of, and you kind of like steps,
Yeah,
you can see what she's
yep.
doing. And she notices that you're doing this and just rolls her eyes as she gathers up like a little jacket and there's some supplies and puts them in her pouch. Whatever, like, I'm coming, okay? You don't have to beat me up or whatever you're sent here to do.
I lean over to Sly and I say, and I hold out a silver talon to him because we're down on the ground. And I hold out a silver talon. I say, "Silver talon, Zakad name dropped Rivenwing Arena."
2 says Odalie used Draven.
I'm not taking that back.
She doesn't give you any trouble. She goes over to the window and she says, "Okay, let's go."
After you.
You guys.
I mean, is there a front door to this place?
Is it just the window or is there a front door? Yeah.
There is a door. You don't know where the front entrance to this building is, but it does seem like she comes in and out through the window. I mean, like she just steps up to the window and is like ready to go.
Hello, lady.
She just like comes down, looks down at you, and shakes her head. Gets down to the everybody sort of reconvenes down in the alley. Head off back to the church.
Mm-hmm.
She offers no resistance as you escort her back to the sacred workshop. When you reach the fogged-down streets, you find that the crowd around the temple has dispersed. The war priests still stand vigilant on the temple steps. Kettle scoffs in disgust at seeing this. Look at these dogs protecting their precious temple instead of the people it's supposed to serve. How can you stand to work for them?
Well, one, we don't work for them. We work for the people. We're not being paid by Tomas. We're not even at his whim. We do care for the people. And they love this place. And if maybe you spent a little less time focusing on your illusions and your artwork, maybe you would notice that the people also love this place.
So, go ahead.
Nothing. I mention, as we're walking after Zakat finishes, I say, I was in Kavalosha once and I saw Farron's artwork. He didn't have the same touch that you have.
Well,
He was
he's a hack.
Yeah, but he did. You do have a finer hand at this, but he did hit on one thing that I thought was important, which was he never capitalized on a crisis. When there were times of need, he knew that it wasn't time that the people needed more chaos. They needed something stable to fall behind, and I know that you're not a hack. You're, in fact, much, much more talented than he is, but I think maybe there's a lesson to be learned there.
You get to the top of the temple stairs, and you find the woman who was with Foreman Tomas, who greets you. So, I see you found our little artist friend. Foreman Tomas is going to be very happy. I believe he's in the ward caring for a patient. Would you like to go and report in? We can stay out here and deal with this, if that's okay with you, Miss Black. She just sort of rolls her eyes.
Sounds good to me.
Sure.
Okay.
Odalie?
After you?
Okay. She actually leaves Kettle outside and leads you in. So I'll take you to where he's doing his work. getting inside the workshop, you see that it is much like, I mean, some of you have probably visited this area before. It literally looks like a workshop. Instead of lines of pews, you see like workbenches where things are created. You see shelves of tools that are free for community use in the best of times and the worst of times. Though it does seem relatively empty now. They're despite the fact that the crowd is dispersed, and she mentioned him working on patients, you don't see, like, it's not like they let those people in here, clearly, because they're not here. You are led through the temple until you come to a door marked as a patient ward. And as you're standing there, the foreman who's leading you is about to knock on the door when you hear a sudden, violent commotion from inside that crescendos with a scream of pain and terror. The foreman stops, her eyes wide, and says, "Foreman Tomas?" The glass panel on the door is suddenly darkened by a spray of dark crimson. Blood flows down the glass on the opposite side of the door. The foreman in front of you begins backpedaling away, clearly like blood drained from her face, completely shocked, leaving you standing there. What do you do?
I draw my sword.
Draw my great axe.
I cast shield!
You cast shield. Totally.
I'm going to prepare Forbidding Ward.
Okay. What do you guys do? You hear now this, like, crunching sound and a ship's, like, a sudden, like, crash of furniture, maybe, and splintering wood from beyond the door.
I'm gonna kick the door and just yell, "Zaka!"
Yep.
You kick the door open.
Say something similar.
You see chaos and carnage. There are 2 rows of beds on either side of the room. Many of them are overturned and covered in red stains. Weird puddles of fleshy ooze dot the floor, and the rumpled clothing on each of them gives you the sickening impression that those puddles are, or were, people, now melted into these weird amorphous blobs. The worst of it, though, is a creature hunched over the bloody, broken form of Foreman Tomas. It is vaguely humanoid, but its flesh seems to constantly shift and flow over its form. Its arms are long and rubbery, tipped with bloody claws, and it opens a distended jaw to take a bite out of the dead priest before it notices you, freezes, and just slowly lowers the corpse to the floor. And we will pick this up next time.
No!
Yes, we've come to the end of our episode.
But I want to smash things!
But you can't just yet.
Oh, I wasn't able to use any of my things.
Had things to use. But that does mean that those will get piled into some extra hero points for next time, which you may need.
I still have my chopsticks, right?
No, those are gone. Chopsticks are gone. That's it for tonight, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I just want to give one last shout out to Norse Foundry for the dice cams for this evening. They were absolutely delightful. These sounds came in from Sirenscape. That is norsefoundry.com and sirenscape.com, respectively. You should definitely visit them and check out their products because we're using them. They're awesome. They work. Yep, Norse Foundry right there. There's our favorite Norse Foundry dice cam on Jamie Cam. There it is. There's the Norse Foundry goodies. Speaking of goodies, we've got the Elderwood Hex Chests. These both are brand new, and they are emblazoned with the Dragons and Things logo. They are awesome. They are for sale right now from Elderwood Academy. Make sure that you pick yours up because there is only a limited supply. So get them while you can. Before we go, I do want to talk to one more important sponsor. All of you. Yeah! Let's read some comments for a little bit before we get out of here, huh?
All right.
Really quick, some shout outs to the Real POTUS, of course, the gifter of all gifters, gifted another sub to Shattered Tabletop Games, who rated us. So there you go. Shattered Tabletop Games, POTUS looking out for you.
Yeah.
We also have some follows from Alberto 8, Bodak 2004, Leo Effects, Tofu Chipmunk.
Yeah,
Raven Vulcans, Jam 5 Princess, H2 Strategies, and Kibosh 99.
Hey, welcome all of y'all.
And speaking of Tofu Chipmunk, they said, whispers loudly Baymax style. We jumped through a window.
I like him. I'm in for life's comment. We don't want trouble as we break in.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't know we were breaking in until later, and then we were like, let's just do it.
It's true. Also, Grace probably wouldn't have still done it.
This is true.
I mean, I feel like you were going to break in.
I wanted to knock. That was the first thing I said. Remember? I was like, and I knock very loudly.
Knock on the glass.
But you said it was a window. We went for it. It was fine. It was fun. It was fine.
These things happen.
Dead Aussie Gamer, along the same lines, we come in peace, roar! Pretty much what they did.
Yeah. Jack Hart 79 saying, "Oh, great job, all, Jim. Excellent job.
Thanks.
Excellent job, Jim."
Thanks, Jack Hart.
And Shattered Tabletop Games is saying, "Thanks for being awesome."
Hey, thank you for being awesome.
Thanks
That
for joining
raid
us.
is fantastic. Thank you so much for bringing in some new eyeballs. We hope all of you who are joining us for the first time will stick around. We will be live next Tuesday and this Friday. So we've got a Friday episode. And Friday episode takes place in the same world, but it's a different group dealing with a different area of the city. So please come and check them out as well. It is another fantastic time. That is all at 6 p.m. Pacific. Both our Tuesday and Friday streams run at 6 p.m. Pacific. So we hope to see you there, whether you're a new fan or whether you're an old fan. Like, please, everybody come watch what we're doing. So it's going to be a good one.
We assume we have it. Well, we assume we have a show.
That's true. Now, I will point out that everything is subject to, like, whether we get quarantined and can't leave our homes. So we will be making announcements if there are any changes. So rest assured that if anything changes, you will know about it. But for right now, the plan is to go live Friday night, 6 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, and if you follow us, you'll get an email notification when we go live.
That's
so
true.
you'll never miss an episode.
Very true.
Ever.
Or
I
a
really-
surprise stream, because we've been doing a lot of those lately, too.
Yes, lots of surprise
I want to give a big shout out to Jamie for still
Hey.
tuning in and making this happen.
And
Really,
she
really
had a
appreciate
delay.
it.
It made it extra hard on her
Yeah.
to kind of chime in and be a part of the conversation at times. So, girl, thanks for dealing with us, and we love you.
Yeah, what I liked about this the whole time is it constantly looks like you're looking at all of us. I think we're looking at you, but
That's why I'm staring directly into your soul.
Directly into the soul.
I can like feel the fantasy and like look at Adam every once in a while. But then I realized I should probably look at Jim like here. But then I just looked at camera. It was all very I'm sorry.
It worked.
It was
It
perfect.
works. It
Great.
works. We will see all of you when next we stream. Of course, you can always join our Discord and chat with us anytime because we're always on there. I don't know. I think that's it. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Make sure that you're washing your hands.
Yeah.
Gotta wash your hands. Wash your hands and use hand sanitizer all the time.
Don't touch your
Keep your loved ones safe as well. We will be back on Friday if we can, and if we can't, rest assured that we will still be around and we love all of you. So thank you very much for all that you do, keeping us sane in these crazy times. We'll see you at some point, probably Friday.
Maybe
Bye-bye. Tech, get us out of here.